I be out with my friends and we could be having a blast. But the minute that my man calls, hello, you said what, you want me to come with? I'm out. Mid turn up. I'm out. Period. Where you going? To my man. To my man. You always with him. You was just with him. I don't care. I'm going to be with him. And I'm going to be with him again after that. And again after that. And again after that. Because that's my man. I'm out. Turn up with y'all later. I'll see y'all later.
Fire for your mind. The kosher clinician.
hold our love against the wall. No, just wanna leave it all behind. Yeah, I'm breaking up with you tonight. Yeah, you know it's hard to say. Yeah, you know we're not okay. I can see it in your face. We became a lonely place. Goodbye, so long, my dear love. Love is forgotten, so I'm moving on. Goodbye, so long, my dear friend. We did our best until the very end. Baby, I don't wanna fight. It has to hurt, that's how I know it's right. But you won't feel the pain alone, no. Every inch of me is hurting and I just wanna leave it all behind. Yeah, I'm breaking up with you tonight. Yeah, you know it's hard to say. Yeah, you know we're not okay. I can see it in your face. We became a lonely place. Yeah. Goodbye, so long, my dear love. Love is forgotten, so I'm moving on. Goodbye, so long, my dear friend. We did our best until the very end. Goodbye, so long, my dear love. My dear love, love is forgotten, so I had to move. Goodbye, so long, my dear friend. Yeah, yeah, we did our best until the very end. But goodbye, so long, my dear love.
I'm feeling something special for you. And now you got me thinking till the sun comes up. Daylight and my mind is dreaming. And I'm saying too much couldn't be enough. But I'll be waiting for the moment to take me to you. Yeah, I'll be waiting. I'm just a couple steps from going over the moon. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. Let me move with your body, baby. Perfection in the way that you move. Boy, you got it. Devotion's getting stronger with all that you do. but I'll be waiting for the moment to take me to you. Yeah, I'll be waiting. I'm just a couple steps from going over the moon. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. Let me move with your body, baby. Oh yeah.
Love for a man is often seen in the form of peace. And peace is often synonymous to what you see on the screen, the ocean and the waves, and also peace is synonymous to being at tranquility. But in many modern times, many men are saying that many modern women don't know how to love them the proper way. And because they feel that many don't know how to love them the proper way, a lot of times many men are saying that they don't see the benefits of love or relationships. In the past, there was a time when men were able to see this, as I'm about to put on the screen. The image of love, or the vestige associated with love, was something that many men from the 90s and beyond that point, or before that point, experienced in the sultry woman to the back, Anita Baker. Anita Baker was the type of woman that personified those old school women, the type of women that were able to say, I apologize, as her song actually rose to melodic rises back in the 90s and the 80s. But the thing about Anita Baker that was so powerful is that Anita Baker knew how to touch not only men in her songs, but Anita Baker was able to touch the hearts of many men through her music. And through that music was a reflection of a time when women were very feminine, women were very virtuous, and women more or less strived, even though they weren't perfect, to try to understand how men operate. But many men are saying in modern times, does a woman know how to adequately love a man? And that brings to the point that many would say no. With women like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, as they talk about some of their very violent music, I don't cook, I don't clean, many modern women see cooking and cleaning as something negative instead of seeing cooking and cleaning as a virtue that can benefit a man in a time where men feel like they're not getting the nurturing that they deserve and or need. It was always said in the past that art actually imitates life. And does art imitate life as it relates to how relationships are being more or less formulated in these modern times? Does art imitate life based on how men feel like or perceive that they are not being treated based on the romanticism called love? Are you a man of modern time that seeks to get love like men from the past had, or even the illusion of love? Sit back, relax, and enjoy this show as I bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State. And I need you guys to remember this is every week.
We're about to start in a minute. This is going to be an excellent show as we talk about how a woman, or the lack thereof, needs to be all for her man. Some of you guys have never been in relationships when a woman has been all for you. Many times we've been conditioned as men in this contemporary culture to give her everything, but not to get anything in return. And we're not saying this all. There's some awesome women that put in work behind the scene. But many will argue that the number needs to be higher. We're going to have a powerful show on tonight. The topic of the show is going to be called All for My Man, as we explore the dynamics between the carnal woman, the spiritual woman, and also the modern woman. Let's do it.
Coming to you live once again from the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State, where the topography is serene, pristine, and verdant green, where every day is Father's Day, and where manhood is part of hills and valleys, victories and failures, and whereas men, we don't agree on all things or ideologies, but tonight we come together as allies of a common cause, only to dissipate once the crisis is over. Now listen, I'm about to drop some fire for your mind. But before I drop that fire, let's explore why we are doing the Manhood Chronicles.
All right, guys, hope you guys are doing well, and we're going to have a fiery show on tonight. We're going to have a good show on tonight, guys. You know, we had an excellent show last night. I'm sure there was some consternation by some, but this show, as you guys know, these shows are very time consuming. And it literally took me about 7 hours to put this show together. So hold tight, guys. We're going to chop it up in a minute. But in the meantime, I need you guys to get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Thank you for everyone that donated last night. You guys did an awesome job. Shout out to the sponsors of the stream, James Miles, and also my man, James Turner, guys. You guys did an awesome job. And to the people that have continued to contribute, and the ones that don't have it to give, I'm grateful that you take the time to watch. To the ones that don't have it to give, just share the content. Sharing the content is money for me. But you know, I want to talk about it on tonight, guys. I want to talk about it because I believe that men should get the best. I believe that when men get the best, then our women will get the best. But the question remains, what does it mean when a woman is all for her man? What does it mean when a woman is willing to put in the work? What does it mean when a woman is willing to more or less put her feelings aside for the greater cause of that relationship? You know, light-skinned Keisha talked about it, you know, and she got a lot of consternation for talking about it. And see, light-skinned Keisha don't claim to be a spiritual woman. She's a modern woman, but, you know, she got some traditional underpinnings, seems like, because she has a high regard for her man. Many times in modern times and many times in many relationships, many men don't know what it's like to have a woman that's all for her man. And I'm a firm believer that when a woman is all for her man, when that man is a good man, I'm not talking about men that are irresponsible. I'm not talking about men that don't reciprocate, because I do believe you should reciprocate to your woman. But when a woman is all for her man, that man can be the best version of himself, because as I said before in the past, when you protect his 6, which is his back, then he's willing to protect your 6. But so many of you men have never seen or don't know what it's like to have a woman that's all for her man. And to the ones that that's just coming in, light-skinned Keisha got a lot of flack for what she said. She got flack from these so-called, you know, these modern hyenas. She got flack from them because, you know, she was talking about loving and giving her man love. And, you know, light-skinned Keisha is no different than many modern women in modern times. Just like when Destiny's Child make the song Cater to You. When you have spiritual women that say, I love my husband, I'm going to make sure I protect my husband. They get flack. But see, a lot of our women have unconscious pathologies. A lot of our men have unconscious pathologies because they defer power instead of demanding power. You are the power brokers. You are the prize catchers. But when you come into a relationship, you don't have any standards, you've never seen strong masculinity in its raw form, then you don't know how to more or less move in that relationship. But All for My Man talks about a time where men, for the most part, had a small vestige of what it was like to have a woman come into their life and give him the best. And so many of you men are going through what's called affection deprivation. That affection deprivation has been a byproduct of what I told you guys in the past, something called a schema affliction. That schema is due to a fixation in your head. Many times that fixation was due to the hurt from a girlfriend or a wife, but also that schema can be due to your moms. You know, we talked about it last night, guys, and you know, it was funny, but it's true. But you know, when you do it all for your mom,
yeah, we changed the balls on my mom. Maybe broke the mom. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back me look like
gang. That's on my mom. Gang. gang. That's on my mama. Gang. That's on my mama.
Yeah, you got that schema affliction because it's on your mama, because she told you look just like your daddy. She told you ain't gonna be ish just like your daddy. She told you that you would never be anything because she was dealing with the trauma afflicted by the man that she dealt with. And sometimes those men that she dealt with many times, or sometimes those men were no good. But sometimes those men were decent men, but she ran them away for whatever reason. There are many reasons, because we got to look at it case by case, for why some women had consternation towards the men in their lives. And because of that said consternation, they more or less transposed or more or less transferred their pain onto their sons. And that's on my mama, because see, when men don't see strong masculinity, they don't see strong families or strong communities, then those men feel vulnerable. And many times they begin to act out emotionally, just like the women that raised them. I talked about it last night, guys. And see, you can't have a vibrant community, as I talked about it last night, until you have self-reflection. Self-reflection and accountability, plus honor, reverence, and respect for the men in your lives, because those men are expected to protect you, brings forth a vibrant community. But you can't have a vibrant community when the men are seen as utilities alone. See, part of male or healthy male mental health is giving him reverence, is giving him honor, and also giving him respect. But when a man does not have any of those elements that are vital for his functioning and vital for his mental well-being, then that man can't be the best version of himself. Guys, get the likes up, share the content. If you like what I'm doing, guys, share the content. Please share this content. We're going to get the stream up pretty hot tonight if we can. But if we're not, we're going to still cook. We're going to still have some fun on tonight, because we can't have a more perfect union until we begin to look at ourselves, until we begin to examine ourselves, until we begin to understand what some of our men are going through. This is one of the first times in human history, as it relates to the virtual world, where men have been able to come together, coalesce, tell their stories and tell their pain without fear or retribution. This is one of the first times. But now, it's like a virtual barbershop. Men can come together and tell their stories. Men can come together and share their pain. They can talk about their level of disdain and their level of anger and animus. And some will say, oh, that's all they do is talk about women. Well, they talk because they're trying to get resolved. They talk because they're going through emotions, or what we call a catharsis. And so when you hear men begin to talk and to more or less emote about their pain, many times they're still trying to seek resolve from the things that went on in the past, and also from the things that have went on more or less inside their heads. And that's why it's so important that we have these conversations. It's extremely important that we have these conversations, guys. Once again, guys, share the stream if you have not shared it. Get the likes up. Thank you to the 18 that are watching. If you're not donated, donate to the channel. And let's have a conversation, because as I said before, all for my man. What does it mean to be all for your man? I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you feel, or do you think, that the typical modern woman, regardless of color, because this is a Western issue, is all for her man? What percentage of women do you, dear gentlemen, think are women that are all for their men? I want you guys to give me a numerical value. What percentage do you guys think that is all for their man? Like I told you guys, it's going to be a good show tonight. I put a lot of time in this show, at least 5 to 6 hours, editing, cutting, trying to make sure everything is synchronized. As I told you guys before in the past, if you know anything about content creation, it's very taxing and it's very time consuming. So I hope you guys appreciate what I do. I hope you guys appreciate the show, because we're going to have some fun on tonight. But this show is tying in to what was happening on yesterday, as it talks about the brokenness that we all see in many of our young men. We see it in our young men many times. And we see that brokenness, and because of that brokenness, a lot of our boys don't know how to more or less advocate for themselves. And many times they suffer in a silo because nobody is hearing their stories and nobody is hearing their pain. But when we begin to hear the stories and the pains from our young men, and also some of our younger men and older men, then perhaps we can get the resolve that we need to turn this, some call despotic community around. As I said before, personally, I think it's going to take generations to get it right. But for those that want to save it and jump through hoops, more power to you. But I've been grinding for the last 15 to 16 years, and I have not seen any change. It's gotten worse. And I advocated for boys in the past. I worked with inmates, and I also taught school. And now as a therapist, and it's gotten worse based on what I've seen. And many will come back and piggyback the same sentiment. But all for my man, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? Teapot Tina said that when using modern women, are the men also modern for clarity, or are they traditional? That's an excellent question, Teapot Tina. Most men still tend to adhere to traditional mores, which means provide, protect, put his life on the line, and do all the traditional things that are expected. A lot of men are modern because they live in a modern world, but they are still expected to do traditional things, if that makes sense. A lot of our women, not all, but a large portion of our women, they want to be modern, but they don't believe in tradition, because tradition for many modern women means slavery, like cooking for her man, cleaning, that's slavery for some women. They see it as slavery. They see it as usury, but they still expect their man to, pump that gas. If somebody come in the house, they expect him to be a protector. If the tires are broken on the side of the road, they expect that man to change that tire, But many will bellow the sentiment a partner, and I don't believe in no such thing as partner, because it's a new concept. I know some people use the term partner interchangeably, but the word partner actually have come from, indoctrination in liberal schools. And and I know, to the men that are listening, my woman is not my partner, she's my wife. And as her being my wife, I'm gonna do everything in my power to love and protect her when needed. Does it mean that my woman does not give input? No, it doesn't mean that. She can give input. Many times I would delegate responsibilities to her because she might have strengths that I don't have. But at the end of the day, I'm still the leader of my home. I'm still the provider, the protector, the provisionary. And sadly, I'm going to argue, Teapot Tina, that many men don't have the necessary or the requisite leadership skills to lead a woman. And many of the women are not wife ready or wife worthy. It's not that those men don't want to be leaders, but they have not learned how to broker power in a relationship in a proper way. And most women can never come to a man and understand what he's saying or what he wants unless she learns to understand that that man is going to be the facilitator of the change that's vital and necessary. And see, that comes from, years of social conditioning and years of upbringing. But sadly, with about almost 80% of our kids born in single parent homes, they don't see anything that's a vestige of normacy. They don't know what true masculinity look like. They don't even know what masculine power look like because they don't see it. They don't see it in home. They don't see it in schools. They don't see it in a lot of the major positions that you see now. So we got a weak class of warriors. We got a weak class of warriors that are broken. They act irresponsible. They don't think logically. They think with their emotions. And they do it.
Yeah, put chain on them. Balls on my mom. That be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back. He look like
Gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey.
And that's what you got now. You got a generation of men that do it for their mama. They don't do it based on logic. They don't do it based on precision. But they do it for their mama because that's all they know. They don't know how to move in silence because many times masculinity, it moves in silence. To the 27 that are watching, guys, get the likes up, share the content, as I said earlier. If you have not donated to the channel, donate to the channel. And once again, the question remains, all for my man, what does it mean? Hit all notification, guys, like, share, and subscribe. But watch this, guys. Light-skinned Keisha came under a lot of scrutiny, as I said earlier. I'm going to replay the clip for the 25 that missed it. So I want you guys to tell me what you think about this clip by light-skinned Keisha. And light-skinned Keisha gets it. She gets it that her man is important. It comes before the sisterhood. But the sisterhood got mad, so I want you guys to listen.
I could be out with my friends and we could be having a blast. But the minute that my man calls, hello? You said what? You want me to come with? I'm out. Mid-turn up. I'm out. Period. Where you going? To my man. To my man. You always with him. You was just with him. I don't care. I'm going to be with him. And I'm going to be with him again after that. And again after that. And again after that. Because that's my man. I'm out. Turn up with y'all later. I'll see y'all later.
Fire for your mind. The kosher clinician.
Yeah, and that was Teapot Tina. She came under a lot of scrutiny. She came under a lot of vitriol because some didn't like what she was saying. They didn't like that she was all for her man. And you know, there was a song, guys, back in the past by Shirley Brown. Shirley Brown wrote a song called Woman to Woman. And she said in that song, she said, I love that man. You know, she was enthralled by her man. She loved her man. She worshiped the ground that man walked on because, see, the woman was made for the man, for those that believe in theology. If you don't believe in theology, that's fine. But even Islam, they teach the same things to some of the similar sentiments. But see, what's wrong with many modern relationships is there's a war going on. You know, the war's been going on since the fall. And it's incumbent upon men to continue to live up to the mantle of masculinity. It's incumbent that the men continue to stand firm in their beliefs. It's incumbent that men don't waver from their convictions, because when you begin to waver in your convictions, that's when you begin to lose the relationship. And it's synonymous to Adam. Adam wavered in his convictions. The man didn't sin, the woman did, but sin came when the man took the forbidden fruit because he followed his woman. And that's why I keep telling you, men, that, you know, you should never make your woman your purpose. Should she play a role in your life? Yes. But your purpose should be for your creator first. After your creator, then it should be your purpose. Because see, when Adam was in synchronicity with God, it was his purpose. And he was a worshiper of the Most High. It was the Most High, Yahweh, Jehovah. Then it was his purpose, naming animals, having dominion. And then the woman came, and she came as a helpmate to help him continue to fulfill his vision. Because see, the woman is the womb of man. She's the vision of a man. But see, men get sidetracked because we don't understand what our purpose is. And sometimes while women, when we hear that she's going to be not going to be number one, she doesn't think logically, she thinks with her feelings. She gets triggered because she doesn't understand purpose and dominion. Men are about kingdom. When men are about kingdom, then they can't be sidetracked. They need a woman that's going to be an aid to help him become the better version of himself. But see, when a man doesn't have a woman to help him become the better version of himself, when he's worried about her getting in her feelings and he's often always trying to please her, then that man can't focus on his mission. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. When you do begin to focus on her too much, then she's going to get bored of you. She's going to get sick of you. And when things go wrong, she's going to blame you. She's going to say, well, you're the man of the relationship. So you can't win for losing. So if you can't win for losing, just do the right thing. Love your woman within reason. It does not mean that you don't love her. It does not mean that you neglect her. It does not mean that you not die for her if you need to. But she'll never come before your purpose, because your purpose is in synchronicity with giving her provision and protection. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't gonna talk to him. Listen, guys, get this stream popping, man. I need you guys to share the content. I need you guys to donate to the channel as I read through some of these comments. And I appreciate it once again to the people that worked so hard on last night. Guys, share the content, get the likes up, and let's get the stream popping, guys, because I got something for you guys. Gregory Smith, Scotland, says she was probably labeled black male identified. Yeah. Some call it black male worship. Anytime a woman aggrandizes her man, aggrandizes family and community, you know, they say she's worshiping her man. She's worshiping the black man, which is goofy and awkward in my opinion. Teapot Tina said that men need to stop trying to change modern women. It's simple. They're wasting time trying to convert modern women. That's on their own fault. I agree with you 1,000%, sis. You're right. Alicia Del Rosario says, shout out to her, but I don't even hang around those type of women. I don't have to explain what my husband said. It's not none of your business. I agree with you 1,000%, sis. You're right. This woman is engaged. She's engaged, Teapot Tina. She's engaged. Gregory Scotland said that men need a system, order, and structure, must leave a woman behind who can't adhere to it. I agree with you 1,000%. And see, when a woman can adhere to that, she's just like Shirley Brown. Shirley Brown said it better than me.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine.
Yeah, we need a woman like Shirley Brown that's all for her man. We need a woman, guys, like Shirley Brown that's all for her man. But see, some of you guys have never experienced that because you keep deferring power in the relationship instead of demanding power. Now listen, guys, once again, share this content, get this stream popping. Donate to the channel as we continue to explore this subject. As I told you guys, this show is very time consuming, extremely time consuming. If you like what I'm doing, share the content and also donate whenever you can. If you don't have any money, that's fine. Just share the content. That's all I ask the 26 that are watching to do. Share the content, please. Help me continue to grow this channel because when we have these shows, many times it causes a lot of consternation. All right, so as I'm reading through the comments, we need more women like Shirley Brown. We need more women like Shirley Brown. Shout out to Neo Moses. How you doing, brother? We need more women like Shirley Brown. Alicia Del Rosario said that Teapot, that's part of the problem. Those women would be in her ear, and most women don't want to be bothered with them. Right. But a lot of men are looking for women like Shirley Brown and light-skinned Keisha. Even though light-skinned Keisha is modern, she got part of it right because she does put her man first. She see some inherent value in being with her man. There was a time when women did that. They put their man first. They said, look, I got to go because, you know, my man is important. You know, she said, they said, I don't have time to hang out with you, girl. I got to go take care of my man. You know, and see, when a woman makes her man important, a good man, I'm not talking about a man that doesn't have any level of introspection. He's going to honor that woman if he's a good, righteous man. We know that there are some men that take advantage of good women. I'm not going to sit up here and be dumb. But I'm not talking about unrighteous men. I'm talking about good men. I'm talking about righteous men, men that love good women that take care of them. But just like men can't cast their pearl to swine, women, you can't cast your pearls to swine either. Because a lot of men are looking for women like Shirley Brown. When she said woman to woman, I love that man. That's what Shirley Brown was saying. She said she loved a man. And I'm going to ask you guys a question. How many of you men have felt true love from a woman? Do you think some of it is self-inflicted, meaning, you know, you just didn't know how to interact with a woman? How many of you men have felt true love from a woman? Because I don't think a lot of men have gotten it. I don't think a lot of men have seen it. And then when they do see it, they don't know how to respond or act. I don't think a lot of men have gotten that powerful or that real love, like Michael McDonald said, from a woman in the past. Because I think when they get it, they don't know how to act or they don't know how to respond. And that's why we got to have these conversations. If we're going to change the evolution of masculinity, we got to have these conversations, guys. All right, hold tight. Teapot Tina said, I think the traditional men will naturally be chased by traditional women. I think a lot of men think that they are traditional, but they aren't attracting modern women. Well, that might be true. Most women are modern in thought and modern also in actions. Some are ignorant to it, but I think there are more that are modern than not. But I'm going to show you guys something. You know, this is an archetype. of what I see in many modern women, like Cardi B, the non-traditional modern woman. And if you guys agree with what I got written down, guys, let's talk about it. Once again, I need you guys to share this stream because it took hours upon hours of my day to put this stream together. If you guys appreciate it, then show your love and support by sharing this content or donating. But back to point, the traditional woman, non-traditional woman, she's selfish. She lacks self-awareness. Many are very promiscuous. She lacks accountability. She's slanderous. They slandered Kevin Samuels when he passed away. They did everything to discredit what he was saying. You didn't have to agree 100% with what the brother said, but there was things were more of a detriment than looking at the good that the man was trying to do. I didn't agree 1,000% with what Kevin said about modern marriage, but I agree with at least over 90% of the things that he said. But they're selfish, the non-traditional woman. If you believe that most are selfish, hit one. Lacks accountability or lacks self-awareness. Many are promiscuous. They've been with a lot of guys. They had a lot of fun. Many lack accountability. They are slanderous. They're rebellious. They're fatherless. And they're eternal victims. And listen, all these things, guys, are the manifestation of thinking errors. Many are vengeful. Mr. Palmer talked about the baby mama terrorists. That's why he said you got to change the law in your mind. They're trying to get vengeful when you try to move on with your life and when you're in the pursuit of happiness. Her feelings matter more than principles. They become indoctrinated through liberal ideas and liberal ideologies. They have thinking errors. Many times, cognitive dissonance. They can't hear what you're saying because they are deaf. They deny the evidence. They become enraged when you present them with the evidence. They argue through ad hominem attacks, and they fight you or flee. Many have unresolved trauma, and some secretly hate men. And that's a typical, guys, of many of your modern women. That's a typical, guys, of many of your modern women. They don't manifest the virtues like your great-grandmama. We're not saying your great-grandmama, your grandmama were perfect women either. But we can argue succinctly that there was a greater percentage of wholesome women from the past. But what men are seeing now, they're not seeing those manifest virtues like they saw in the past or saw yesterday. And it's causing a lot of men to have a conniption. It's causing a lot of men to say, you know what are the benefits? Because here's the point. Many men in modern times still are expected to be traditional. What was the traditional role of men of the past? Provider, protector, provisionary, maintenance, security, give his best, put his life on the line. That's what it was in the past, but we're not seeing it now, sadly, guys, in these modern times. But back to what I was saying earlier. Selfish, lacks self-awareness, had a lot of fun, lacks accountability, slanderous, rebellious, fatherless, never seen true masculinity or what masculine authority looks like, the eternal victim, vengeful, her feelings over principles, indoctrinated, thinking errors, and secretly hate men. If you guys think that's true, I need you guys to hit the one button. Hit the one button if you guys think that's true. With a percentage, we're not saying all, a percentage. And then we're going to get back to this discussion. Gregory Scotland said, once again, self-awareness and accountability are key problems. So that's why these conversation, guys, are so important. So what do you guys think about that list that I had written down, guys? What do you guys think about it? What do you think about it? What do you think about the current state of affairs as it relates to many modern women. What do you guys think about it? Has she been adequately trained or more or less conditioned to be all for her man? Is she willing to be all for her man? Is she willing to give her best? Is she willing to sacrifice all for her man? Or does she just see her man as a utility only to serve her and to meet her selfish needs? Because as I said earlier, guys, you can't have a more vibrant union until we have a conversation about understanding and protecting our men. We got to have the conversation. You can't have a more perfect union until you have that conversation. So, the non-traditional woman, many times she uses the word partner. You know, she was indoctrinated by that based on her liberal training. And as I said earlier, many of them, they don't mean anything by it when they say it. It's just a word that they use. They don't really mean anything by it. They just say it based on, sometimes it's unconscious. They'll say partner. But a woman can't be a partner to a man if she's not willing to. She can't be a partner if she don't understand what her purpose is. Because I believe in the old school wife, not partner. Shout out to my man Top Gun for that $5 super sticker. He said, I think that list is on spot. I also think the Serpent Suffer is out, and that's on these. That's on these. You are funny. And so, Teapot Tina, what guys are saying is this, as I said earlier, even though men are living in the modern world, they still have a default mechanism that says they got to be traditional. So it's not that they are necessarily focusing on modern women. They're assuming just like they are modern men living in modern times, that these modern women that are living in modern times still have traditional values. You can be a modern woman because you live in a modern time, but you still have traditional underpinnings. Sometimes it's a combination between traditional and also modern, or we call it contemporary. But that's what men are trying to say. They are modern, living in the modern world, but they're looking for modern women with traditional values. Because the modern thing, they're like, my kids are modern, but they still are traditional, if that makes sense. They live in a generation where things are very modern, but they still are very traditional. So that's what we are saying. That's what the men are saying. I'm going to show you guys something else, guys. I need you guys once again to share the content. Thank you, Top Gun. I appreciate it. But one of the things, guys, we have, because, the spiritual woman seeks to please her husband. The spiritual woman is different than the carnal Christian woman and also the non-traditional modern woman. You got the non-traditional modern woman. Then you got the so-called carnal woman. She's a Christian in name. She's a C-no. She's a Christian in name only. But she talks about traditionalism to some degree, but she's not really a true spiritual woman like the Proverbs 31 woman. We're going to look at it. And so this woman is the carnal Christian woman. She's the carnal Christian woman because, see, she can be all for her man and she's carnal, like Shirley Brown said. She can't be all for her man, guys, if she's carnal. She has a form of godliness. She'll talk about God and church and Jesus and all that good stuff. But she really doesn't believe in what she says, because if she really believed it, she would practice it. And, I've seen it, guys. You guys have seen it many times. You have a percentage of our women that say that, they are women of faith and they love the Lord and all that stuff. But when it comes down to the mandates of the gospel, they have what's called selective memory or selective outrage. When it comes down to the order of things, many can't hear because they have ears, but they can't hear. They have eyes, but they can't see because they just have a form of godliness. They go through the routines and rituals of church. They talk about the Lord and they go the Sundays and all that, but they don't really live a manifest life of sacrifice, discipline, and grace and virtue. When a woman is all for her man, she's going to be a woman that's on her knees praying and more or less looking for family. A woman that's truly spiritual is a woman that puts her family first, puts God first, and then her family. Her life and her mission, her purpose is for her family, her husband, her family. That's all she lives for. She's not caught up in her emotions. She's not caught up in her feelings. She's not worldly. She's not nosy. She's not a busybody. But her mission is to serve her man. She's a Titus 3:5 woman. She's obedient. You know, the dirty word that many modern women don't want to hear. But back in the past, obedience was a part of getting married. Honor and obey. That was part of it. Because marriage is about duty. You know, a lot of women want to be the bride of a man, but they don't want to be, they want the wedding, but they don't want the duties to come along with being married. Many want to be the bride, but they don't understand that the bride must focus on the duty of being a wife if she wants the love of a man. And so many men abandon their power because they don't demand anything. They love the world. You really can't tell the difference with a carnal Christian woman, than over, the secular woman. She's religious, as I said earlier, she talks about God and she has a formality, but that's all she does. She never fasts or prays. I grew up Church of God in Christ, grew up in the church. I don't live it like I used to. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I got some things I got to work on. She's a Christian feminist. Kevin Samuels talked about that. She wants egalitarian relationships. She wants a partnership where she tells her husband, her and her husband shares power in the relationship. And see, a lot of women come into relationships, guys, broken. They come in relationships broken for a myriad of reasons. They come in broken because they were in bad relationships with guys that hurt them. I understand that. They come into relationships based on vicarious trauma. They saw their mom go through pain and hurt, so they lived through the vicarious trauma of their moms. So therefore, they have a schema affliction associated with anything that's tied to masculinity and order because they have trust issues because they have not done the work to figure out why they're going through the things that they're going through. They're Christian feminists, as I said earlier. They talk about God and they talk about the things associated with God, but they don't believe in the hierarchy. You might say, what is the hierarchy? It's God, it's Christ, it's man, it's woman, and then it's children. But see, the modern or the Christian, the carnal woman, she secretly wants the power in the relationship. That's why Theological said that she will have a desire for her husband. And guys, if you like what I'm doing, guys, get the likes up, share this content. I appreciate Top Gun. I appreciate it, guys. Share the content, please. Because as I said earlier, these shows are very time consuming. It took a lot of time putting this show together. There's no difference from the world with the carnal Christian woman. It's no difference. She dresses provocative. She comes to church provocative. She curses. She does just like what the world of women do. She goes to the club on Saturday and then she comes to church on Sunday and say, I love the Lord. It's no difference. And, it's no difference from the worldly women. She's rebellious. She challenges the authority of her husband. She's constantly fighting for her husband in the relationship because she's not a spiritual woman. She doesn't understand her purpose in the kingdom. And so it's always a fight because she wants the power. That's why in the book of Genesis it says she will have a desire for her husband, but he will rule over her. Prior to the fall, the woman was given the power to roam free and to do what she will. But after the fall, it was the man's responsibility to guide her, almost like taking her by the hand, because women are easily influenced through the ear gate. But see, the problem with most modern men don't know how to lead their women. And most modern men have never seen true masculinity. And they defer power in the relationship instead of demanding power. She has a lust for power. She wants to wear the pants in the relationship. She'll challenge your authority. She will embarrass you in front of the preacher and in front of her girlfriends, but she'll tell you, I love the Lord, though, on Sunday. She's a carnal Christian woman. Carnal comes from the word flesh. Carne in the Greek, it comes from the word flesh. And see, that's why I said earlier that a woman that's truly spiritual is a woman that knows how to master her emotions. when she can master her emotions, if you're working hard and you're trying to provide for your family, she might get tempted to go on TikTok and Instagram and receive the attention from other men on Facebook. But she chooses not to do it because she's a spiritual woman, because she's constantly praying and fasting. She has an active prayer life and an active fast life. That's why, you know, I've said before in the past, it's not the man's responsibility to hold her hand 24 hours, because when men are about their purpose, they don't have time to be holding your hand. When a woman is a true spiritual woman, she's not going to fall by the ways of darkness, because like Luke Skywalker said, he said that the light side takes discipline, but the dark side is easy. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't going to talk to me. And that's why a true spiritual woman is not going to be caught up in the shenanigans of social media. She understands that her love for her husband supersedes her fleeting emotions. That's why I told you guys, a woman is not truly wife ready or wife worthy until she can control her emotions. I'm going to say it again. She's not totally wife ready or wife worthy unless she can control her emotions. If she can control her emotions, then she's ready for the office of being a wife. But if she's not adequately prepared to control her emotions, then mentally she's not ready to be the wife. Because see, the bride prepared herself for who? The bridegroom. That took discipline. And so if you're not disciplined, that means you're walking in darkness. You have to be disciplined in order to walk in light. And that goes for the men too. But a lot of our modern women, as Kevin Samuels said in the past, are Christian feminists. You know, they want to be the man in the relationship. They want to tell you how you should lead. They want to tell you about masculinity based on their feelings instead of based on principle. And most modern preachers now, they don't tell women anything because they're about them tithes and offerings. I grew up in church, so I saw it. That's why men have a great disdain for church and religiosity. They have a lust for power. They want to have power in the relationship. Many want to be the first lady. They want to be just like the first lady. They want to be like the pastor and the first lady. That's why pastor can get all the women. He can have all the sex he wants with a lot of the women in the church. And some of these imams in these mosques too. We ain't going to leave the imams out because some of them are just as bad. You know, we always talk about the Christian church, but how about some of these Muslims? They ain't no different. And probably some of these synagogues too, but that's the human condition. But they want to be the first lady. They want to get the attention because, see, women by nature are insular. They love attention. They love the attention from men. But a true spiritual and godly woman only wants the attention from one man, which is her husband. That's the only attention that she wants. She does not seek attention from other men. She's not addicted to attention. She's not addicted to social media. She's not addicted to it. Most non-traditional women are addicted to attention. And some of you men are goofballs because you allow her to have all that power in the relationship. She got to be right. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. She's deaf. And as I said earlier, she loves attention. So guys, once again, get the likes up. I love you guys because we need some women, guys. We need some women that's going to love their man.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine.
Yeah, we need some women, guys, that's going to love their man. That's what we're going to need because a lot of men are frustrated with the modern or the non-traditional woman. They're frustrated. They're tired of jousting for power. Many are beginning to demand power instead of jousting for power in the relationship. Let me read through some of these comments, guys. As I said earlier, guys, share the content. Please get the likes up. Get the likes up, guys. I love and respect everything that you guys have done. You guys have been awesome. You guys have held me down, but the stream is down, very down tonight. I told you guys, I put a lot of work in this show. So guys, please share. Shout out to Top Gun thus far as he's the sponsor of the stream. I appreciate it. But let's go to some of these comments. Cortez Smith said, no male modern women, when modern men are tradition, they still run into modern women because there are so many. Okay. Proverbs 31 woman, right, is better than the church woman. I agree, cool gent. Teapot Tina said, Cortez, I guess the question is whether you have men that have the tools to know the difference between women who are traditional and who are not. Well, it'll be manifest in their works, Teapot Tina. It will be manifest in their works. They'll do traditional things, They don't see cooking and cleaning as slavery. They have a modicum of respect when it comes down to how they conduct themselves. They don't sleep around with a bunch of men, and still want a good man. They're just different. They're totally different. And a man will know when he see it. But I think so many of our men have been devoid of true femininity and true femininity that when they get it, they don't know what to look for. So once again, guys, to the 38 that are watching, thank you guys. I appreciate it. We're going to have a powerful show on tonight. I appreciate it, Teapot Tina. I like how he's breaking down these types. Interesting. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Cool Gent said, I haven't been to service in years. I feel you, brother. Elisa Del Rosario said, Cool Cortez, I agree the devil knows the Bible better than most, but their fruits you will know. Yes, ma'am. You will know them by their fruits. You will know them by their fruits. And what you're seeing, guys, sadly, you don't see strong women anymore. You don't see women having manifest virtues of that Proverbs 31 woman. Shout out to my man, MC Recovering Wellness, for that $5 stupid sticker. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. But I had this show, guys, because men are looking for women that are all for their man. As I said earlier, affection deprivation is becoming the all-time norm for a lot of men. Because the non-traditional woman does not know how to acquiesce her man. But this is what men are looking for. Most men are looking for a Proverbs 31 woman, an old school woman. She's a woman. She's an archetype from the past. She was like, Fannie Lou Hamer. I had Fannie Lou Hamer on the billboard. Mahalia Jackson. She was a type of Proverbs 31 woman. She was a praying woman. They're not perfect, but they strive to serve their man. They strive to keep their flesh under subjection to the law of the spirit. They have the mental acumen of serving the Creator first. They put God first because they know when they put God first, they're going to put their man first. When that man put God first, then he's going to automatically take care of his woman. That's why it says that the sanctified wife sanctifies the husband. For the women that think, you ain't giving him no attention, so it's my fault or the man's fault because she go out here and sin. That's not true. If she's a spiritual woman. If she's a carnal Christian, perhaps. But if she's a true godly spiritual woman, she's not going to fall. I've known women that had sinful husbands. They drunk. They were drunks and all that because those women were walking in the spirit, because those women were relying on the power of faith and prayer, they eventually brought their husbands to faith because they were living right. But see, these modern women don't have that kind of, dexterity. They ain't going to pray for no man. They ain't going to pray that man in the kingdom because they don't have the discipline to do it. They never seen true masculinity in its power, in its rawest form. They never saw their father loving their mom. And many of them are dealing with the traumas from their mothers. Some of the men too, because, it's all on their mama. A lot of these men are still dealing with the pain based on what their mama said. Because
put chain on the walls on my mom. That be broken mom. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back me look like
Gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey. Gang, that's on my monkey.
Yeah, it's on their mama. Because that's all they know. They have not seen true masculinity. And that's why I said before earlier, guys, you can't build a kingdom without a foundation. You can't have a kingdom without rules. You can't have a kingdom without a king. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't gonna talk to me, because in order for a woman to come into her queendom, she must come into his kingdom. I'm gonna say it again. In order for a woman to come into her specific queendom, then she must come into his kingdom. The kingdom always came before her because she came out of him. How can a man make a woman more than his purpose when the woman came out of him? Man didn't come out of the woman, not the original woman, man and woman, but she came out of him. So if she came out of him, she was made to serve him, he was not made to serve her. She was made to serve him because according to the edicts of theology, the woman was made for the man. But see, guys, when you put your woman above God and your purpose, then if you're not careful, you'll be a slave to her feelings. When she get in her feelings, you'll be a slave. Well, I got to do what my wife said because she going to get mad. When you know you got to go make that money, well, I got to do what my wife said. But see, a woman that's a true spiritual woman, a Proverbs 31 woman, she going to say, baby, go ahead and make that money. She's going to push you into your purpose. She's going to help refortify your purpose because that's what she was made for. She was made for you. I had to realize that. She was made for you. You weren't made for her. But see, the carnal Christian woman, she doesn't understand that. She thinks it's robbery when you say such things because she has not mastered her feelings under the subjection of the law of the Spirit. She's still walking in the flesh. That's why she can't hear spiritual truth. The carnal-minded mind cannot understand the spiritual truths of Yahweh or God. They can't understand it. So when you try to tell them the truth, they get in their feelings because they can't receive it, because they never heard it or neither have they ever seen it. And sad because some of these preachers are so weak, they don't manifest the virtues that men need to see. Shout out to my man Barry Hamilton for that $5, $6 super sticker. He said, keep up the good work for that $6 super sticker. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate it, brother. Much love and blessings. And that's why we got to have these conversations, guys, because men need women that's going to say.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine.
Yeah, that's what men need. They need a woman that's going to love that man. And see, when a woman is all for her man, she's in a position to give that man the best in the things that he's need. But see, many men have never experienced that. They don't know what true power in a relationship look like. They don't know what true affection is. Some of you men are coming home every day broken and distressed because you got a woman that's constantly fighting you for power in the relationship. And because you've never seen true leadership in its truest form, you give that power away. You broker for power in the relationship. But as I said earlier, the ones that said they want a partner, well, are you a partner when Raekwon come break in the house? Are you a partner when the rats are running from the roof or from the attic? Are you a partner when, you got to go outside and cut that grass? Are you a partner when you got to change the oil and change the tires and wash the cars? Are you a partner when you're expected to get the bullet? Are you a partner? And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't going to talk to them. They don't want to hear that. But see, I'm kosher. I strive to be kosher because in the Hebrew, kosher means to be fit and proper. It would be robbery or sacrilegious for me not to do anything less. I just strive to do the right thing. Am I perfect? No. But I do strive to do the right thing because, I grew up in it. And so I know what it looks like. Shout out to my man Top Gun, hold tight as we have this stream. Because guys, I got something else for you. Cool Gent said that Tim the 2-5 Southern should have approved as a good word. We need to be not ashamed, rightly divide the word of truth, no doubt. Alicia Della Rosario said, I used to sing like Mahalia Jackson. Yes, she was one of the rare gems. Shout out to Byron Hammer TV. He said, salute. Top Gun said, let's donate to this service support. He said, oh God, no doubt. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, Top Gun. I appreciate it, man. You always hold me down. I appreciate it, brother. Shout out Chicago Rilla, no doubt, man. Fire for your mind. I appreciate it, brother. Fire. And then shout out to my man, all time, my man James Turner. Mission. He said that, he said that the women of today treat God like a spiritual bellhop, but when it's time to serve Him, it's only by convenience. Yes, sir. They don't understand the sacrifices to first serve her husband, and that's on my preacher man. I'm on my purpose, and that's a deal. Right? I appreciate it, brother. Right? Thank you, Mr. Turner. Much love and blessings, man. That's a right? That's a deal. But the last archetype, guys, y'all gonna love this one. The last archetype, guys, is, let me show it to you. She's the Proverbs 31 woman. She's the spiritual woman. She's a woman that believes in prayer, and that's what most are devoid of. Shout out to Byron Hammer TV for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, brother. Much love and blessings to the people that are donating. Thank you, guys. As this show took a lot of time, and these shows are very time consuming. But watch this, guys. This is the Proverbs of the spiritual woman. The spiritual woman does not need a man to hold her hand. She's not a woman that's going to be on TikTok, and she's not prone to men giving her, compliments, and she fall into sin because she's a spiritual woman. She knows what her purpose is in the kingdom, and also the dichotomy of that relationship. That's how women of old were. Our ancestors were prayer warriors. They prayed us into freedom. They knew the power of prayer and faith, unlike some of these modern women and some of these men too. And I'm guilty myself. So I'm gonna talk about myself as well, but watch this. She has the traits of a Proverbs 31 woman. What are the traits of a Proverbs 31 woman? She seeks to love her family. She seeks to love her husband. She seeks to put her life on the line for the greater cause of the family because she realized that her legacy is more important than her temporary feelings. I'm gonna say it again. The spiritual woman realizes that her feelings are more important. Her legacy is more important than her feelings. And see, that's the problem with many modern women and carnal Christian women. They get caught up in their feelings. So when they hear the message of truth, they can't receive the truth because, once again, they're carnal-minded. As I said earlier, the carnal-minded woman cannot understand the spiritual truths of God. She can't receive it because she's walking in the flesh. She's not walking in the spirit. So when she hears those things that are necessary to her soul, she gets in her feelings because she's not disciplined to receive it. She does not seek godly fame, worldly fame. She understands that the pleasures of this world are fleeting. They're passing away. She understands that the money is going to pass away. She understands that the house is going to pass away. She understands that the kingdom supersedes the things on this earth because the things on this earth are going back to the earth, but the things of the spirit will live forever. She's kingdom-minded. She understands the hierarchy. She understands the kingdom. Yahweh, Christ, man, woman, children, legacy, community. She lives for her husband and she lives for her children. Her feelings are secondary because she knows that if she take care of that man, if he's a righteous man, that man's going to automatically take care of her. That's what women don't understand. Many come into relationships with a poverty mindset. They come in with a deficit mindset. They come in with a fear mindset. And if you come in with a deficit or a fear mindset, you're not ready for a relationship because you're still ruminating from the traumas that you went through as a child. You're ruminating from seeing what your mother went through, men and women. You're ruminating. Some of the men, you're not ready for a relationship as well because you don't know how to lead with power and conviction. She seeks to please her husband. She knows how to control her emotions. She's a prayer warrior. Prayer is her defense. Prayer is her defense to overcoming the flesh. She's a prayer warrior. She understands hierarchy, as I said earlier. She does not seek attention. Her heart is for her family. His wife is not a partner. Partner is an egalitarian construct. That's a byproduct of liberal indoctrination. If you go back 40, 30, 40, 50 years from now, you never hear anybody talk about the word partner. You'll never hear it because it was never talked about. There was no such thing as a partner. But you hear them talking about partner. Now, that's my partner. No, you're not my partner. You're my wife. You hear liberals talk about that. But if you're a traditional conservative woman, you're not going to see your husband as your partner. As I said earlier, it's an interchange, but you're not going to see that man as your partner. You're going to see him as your husband. He's your husband. He's not your partner. She dresses very modest. Her breasts are not all out. She don't have on skimpy clothes. Let me tell you guys something. Run away from women that try to shame you and say you're insecure when she want to dress like a tramp. You run away from that because what she's doing, she's trying to manipulate you. She's trying to violate your inner sanctum as a man. She's trying to violate your inner sanctum. When she says, I can't wear certain clothes. You're this insecure. No, sweetie, I'm not insecure. But your behavior is making me not secure in this relationship. I'm not insecure by default, but I am not secure in your actions because you're violating my principles as a man. And so a true Proverbs 31 or a spiritual woman, she's very modest. That's why the women, the fruit of Islam, the women in Islam in general, they conduct themselves in an equitable way. Women of the past were like that. The holiness churches, the Church of God in Christ, they had a level of shame, but these chicks now, they don't. And that causes a lot of distress for men because men can't be their best if they don't feel like they have loyalty. I did a show about a week ago, and I said that loyalty is his royalty. When a woman is loyal, then that man can be more focused on his mission and his purpose. But when a woman is not loyal, then that man is constantly struggling. That man is constantly struggling because, he doesn't see or know if that woman has his greatest interest at heart. She works outside the home and manages her time. You've heard women say, well, I can't be resting my femininity because he's not making enough money, which is goofy. Because the Proverbs 31 woman, she worked outside the home. Am I not saying that a woman can be in a better state if a man is working? Yeah, perhaps. But according to theology, in the millennial kingdom, there are going to be people that after they reign with the creator Christ for 1,000 years, the devil's going to be loose and they still going to sin and rebel. So what's your example then? They were in an environment of peace. But after 1,000 years, then they're going to turn back to evil and iniquity. So when people say, well, I need I got to be comfortable in my femininity, that's foolish because if you're a true feminine woman, you're going to be a feminine woman. Am I saying that the environment can help her with her femininity? Yes. But imagine if a man said, well, I can't, rest in my masculinity because I'm not getting sex enough. I can't rest in my masculinity because the house is not clean. I can't rest in my masculinity because, you're overweight. I can't rest in my masculinity because you don't keep this house clean. I can't rest in my masculinity because you're very disrespectful. Masculinity is doing, the feminine is being. So if she's a true feminine woman, she's going to always be feminine. Women of the past were still feminine, they had less. Women like Mahalia Jackson, those women were feminine because that's just who they were. They were kind-hearted. My grandma was like that. But nowadays, these women have conditional femininity. I'm gonna only be feminine if all the conditions are right. But then you're not a true feminine woman in the first place. You're not a true feminine woman if your femininity is based on conditions. But you notice, guys, when it comes down to her, it's always conditional. But when it comes down to you, then it's not. I'm gonna say it again. When it comes down to her, there are no conditions, but when it comes down to you, she got to put you under conditions. And that's the problem that we're having now, guys. It's like a lack of accountability and it's a play of words. I had a woman tell me one time, she said that true love is unconditional. But I said that makes no sense because even God and his holiness has conditions. Follow peace with all men, for without holiness, no man shall see God. So holiness is conditional. You have to be holy to see God. The love of God is unconditional, but the holiness of God is conditioned. There's conditions to being holy. But see, women don't want to hear that. They want you to, they want you to be suckers. They want you to be suckers. They want to play you and play you like a fiddle. Shout out to my man, Andrew Baker. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. He said, most women don't want to use the word husband or wife. These words have meaning and requirements to validate these titles. Great show. I appreciate it, brother.
That's a deal, right?
That's a deal, right? I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Andrew Baker and James Turner, guys. You guys have done an awesome job. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you guys do as we seek to bring balance to these very turbulent times. Cortez Smith said that I can't rest in my masculinity. She weighs more than me. Oh my goodness, you funny, man. James said, I can't rest in my masculinity when yoga pants is a fashion statement. That's on my sundress. Alisa Darrell Sars said, okay, all right. You guys are funny, man. And like I said, guys, she's not prone to gossip, but also she takes accountability. She's accountable for her behavior. She's accountable. And that's the spiritual woman. She's walking in her spirituality because she realizes that her spirituality supersized her fickle feelings because her feelings are fickle. That's why I tell guys, you have to be leaders because women are emotional. And the gospel say deal with them in accord to knowledge because they're the weaker vessel. So if you're following her, then you're going to be following her feelings. If you make her your number one priority, then you could be complicit in idolatry. If you make her your number one priority, then you're not following your purpose. A true spiritual woman understands that she's not going to come first. God comes first. His purpose comes second, and she enhances him. And on the back end, she's going to be well taken care of. But that's the order of things. Because when 70 to 90% of divorces ended in marriage, what happens when that man make her number one? She decides to divorce him, and now he's a broken man because he made her his number one priority instead of making his purpose his number one priority. But see, many think that when I say this, it means that the woman's neglected. A righteous man does not neglect his woman. A righteous man will love his woman to even die for her. But she understands, as I said earlier, guys, the order of things. I want to show you guys something, man. This is something, this woman, this Nigerian woman, she gets it. And she's actually hearkening on the same sentiment that I'm saying. So I want you guys to listen. Hold tight.
Created the man first before he created the woman. And when God created the man, God took the man to the Garden of Eden and told the man, till the land. When God created the woman, God brought the woman to the man. Okay, so the first thing that the woman saw was God, and the second thing that she saw was a man. So it is normal for a woman to be so passionate about marriage, about relationship, because the first thing that God gave us was a man. But the first thing that God gave the man was his work. So we all see things differently. We interpret things differently. And when God created the man.
And that's what I said in the past. I said that women think like spaghetti, but men tend to think like an arrow. Well, it's wired different, and it's okay. It's, you know, God is wired is different. But keep listening.
God brought the animals and said, Adam, name them. The names that Adam gave to the animals, it was so. So Adam will say, this is pig. God will say, it is a pig. Adam will, any name that he gave, God didn't give us the same responsibility. God didn't bring animals and said, women or woman, name them. That wasn't our responsibility. And also when you read Genesis chapter 3, after the fall, when God was giving us, okay, our punishment, what will happen to the snake, what will happen to the woman, and what will happen to the man. The man, it was about his work. But the woman, it was about her seed, about her desiring her husband. It is about her giving birth, the pain that she will go through. So men and women, we are not the same. A woman has a womb. A man doesn't have a womb. And even in the Garden of Eden, when Adam was there, the snake didn't show up. But when the woman came, the snake showed up.
And she's right. See, you know, the reason why our young kids, a lot of our boys and girls are struggling and suffering, because we don't have masculine. I'm going to do a show at some point called Beware of the Snake Whisperer. You know, the snake whisperer is a type of man that knows how to manipulate women. That's why girls need their fathers in the home so they can protect them from these snake whisperers. Snake whisperers are very sneaky. They love bomb the women. They live to distract the woman from the purpose of her father. You know, they don't have the heart of God. These snake whisperer men are also very carnal minded. They're no different than the worldly men because they don't follow order. See, I watch men that say they're men of God, but they don't follow the mandates and they don't have the fruit to lead to truth. And so, you know, women, the snake didn't come to the man, it came to the woman because the snake knew that he can get the woman through the ear gate. Most dirty Mac simps, you know, they get the woman through her ear gate. They whisper sweet nothings in her ear. You know, they whisper things into her ear. And that's why many times predators, when they come into homes, when they got a strong man in the home, then, you know, the man is a type of shepherd and the children and the wife are types of sheep. The shepherd, the good shepherd guides the sheep into the right pasture. But see, when you don't have true masculine men in the home, then who's guiding the women? Who's guiding her? Who's guiding them? So the snake always comes to the woman. Some of these dirty Mac simps, some of these, the Derek Jacksons of the world, some of these other clowns that lie to our women, they get them through the ear gate. So when men like myself and other brothers try to tell them the truth, they can't receive it because they have been seduced by the snake whisperer, which is the spirit of the hyena. They got the hyena spirit. It is the spirit of the hyena. Because they got ears and they can't hear.
Okay, so you have to know, because when the snake saw, even the devil, when he saw Adam alone, he said, who is this? I mean, what can he do? I mean, what can he do? I mean, what can he do? He just tell him. But when the woman came, he said, hey, God is looking for worshippers. Okay, I have vacated my post. God has disowned me. And now there is this woman who has a womb. And she is going to give birth. Oh, so the devil even saw something in the woman that he didn't see in the man. So men and women, we are different. We interpret things differently. So for example, if a woman tells her husband, my dear, I want you to take me out once a month so that we can sit somewhere and have fun, and the husband denies her, the wife will interpret that action or that behavior as, my husband doesn't love me. That is why he denied me. The same situation, the man will interpret it as disrespect. If the man wants his wife to go out with her, and the wife says, I'm busy, I have to do this and all that, and the wife denies him, the husband will interpret the same behavior as disrespect. So the same thing, the same behavior, the same attitude, the same situation, but we interpret it differently. Because women, the way we are wired and designed, okay, we want to feel loved. We want to feel loved. And men, they want to be respected. Because when they entered their world, when God created that masculinity.
Right. Once again, women are insular. Women are made with a vagina. They're made to receive things. Women need the eros love of a man. They need the feelings of love. But men feel love when they're honored and respected, because men are based on principle. The woman is insular with the vagina, but the man has a phallus like a rod. You know, a man has a rod, just like a royal scepter. You know, it's about position and power. It's about principle. The woman is insular to receive the love of a man, but the man has a rod, and that rod is about order, power, and dominion. That's why women need to listen to their fathers, because their fathers can save them from the snake whisperer. But see, when your women are rebellious, and when our women, the so-called, the carnal Christian women, are not in line with God, then, you know, they aid the daughter in her rebellion against her father. And when they aid the daughter in her rebellion against her father, then she leaves her in the hands of the wolves. And so that's why it's so important for women to listen to the instructions of their fathers. Hold tight.
They came to rule. They came to dominate. I'm not saying that a woman is not supposed to dominate, because the dominion mandate was given to the man and was given to the woman. But before the mandate, we all know that God created the man first before he created the woman. So which means that it was the man who came first, and it was the man that God gave the responsibility to him to till the land, to dress it, to work. And then when the woman came as a helper. So she came to do something, to help a man who was also doing something. So we are not the same. We have to stop this thing. Men and women, we are the same. We are not the same. A man doesn't have a womb. And the emotional things that we all desire, it is different from the man and it is different from the woman. And the way we are affected, it is also different. Even our brain, according to psychologists, they are not designed, they are not the same. Men, their brain is different from women, our brain. So we need to understand that difference so that we can accept our differences and we can celebrate it and we can love it. So now let's talk about the love and the respect. So as I said, the same situation, the man will interpret it as disrespect, but the same situation, the woman will interpret it as, my husband doesn't love me. That is why she will not feel loved because the husband denied her. Gary Chapman wrote a book, and I think we all know about the 5 love languages. So if you are a man, and when you read Ephesians chapter 5, so let's start with Ephesians chapter 5 before we come to Gary Chapman. When you read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21 and verse 22, let's start with the 22. Because the 21, it is talking about both of us submitting to each other. But let's talk about the 22. God was admonishing, or Paul, okay, God was using Paul to admonish women to submit to their husbands, and we are doing it in reverence to God. And also the men, God ordered them, commanded them to love their wives the way Christ loved the church, which means it is a sacrificial love. It is what? It is sacrifice. And when you want to understand submission, which is strength and control, strength under control, that is what we call submission. And Jesus demonstrates submission for us. When you read Philippians chapter 2, Jesus was God all by himself, but he laid everything down and he decided to become like us and died for us. That is submission. You have something, but you decide to lay it down. So when a woman submits to her husband, I mean, she has something. Not that the woman doesn't have anything. The woman has something. The woman has a choice. She can decide not to do it, but she chooses, okay, to lay everything down, and also to.
That's what I said earlier in the past. When a woman, guys, is in synchronicity with the mission of the kingdom, watch this, when she don't feel like doing the right thing, she's going to do it anyway, because her feelings does not supersede the purpose of the kingdom and also the purpose and the mission of her husband. I'm going to say it again. When a woman is in synchronicity with God, then she can control her feelings. Her feelings does not supersede the mission. You guys will know when a woman really loves you. I'm going to tell you why. Because she's not in her feelings. Her feelings does not matter more than the mission. That's why I said when you get a wife, you need to get a wife that's very mature. You have to get a wife that's very disciplined. She's able to master her flesh. She's able to master her feelings, because she can be a slave to her feelings if she's not careful. Just like a man can be a slave to sometimes being overlogical. A woman needs to master her feelings in order to come into the kingdom of a man. But when she's not able to master her feelings, then she's a slave to her feelings. When she, like I said, when you tell your wife, listen, baby, I need you to, can you get up and cook me something to eat? She said, I don't feel like doing it, but because I love my man. I don't feel like doing it, but because I love my man, I'm going to do it anyway. When that man said, baby, can you go handle this thing I need you to do? She said, I don't feel like doing it, but because I love my man, I'm going to do it anyway. Her love for her man supersedes the mission. And like Shirley Brown said in the past.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine.
Yeah, that's what men are looking for. They're looking for a woman like Shirley Brown, a woman that says, I love that man. Her mission is to serve her man. And watch this. When she serves her man, then that man's going to turn around and take care of her, similar to what the gospel says. If I be lifted up from the earth, I'll draw all men unto me. When that woman lifts her man up in holy reverence and in reverence and righteousness, that man's going to automatically take care of her. Men by nature, when you give him the love of honor and respect, he will give you the eros love that you need. When you sharpen his sepulchre, which is his honor, then he's going to sharpen your heart, which is the eros love. But see, so many women don't get it because they come into the relationship being undisciplined with their feelings, and they come into the relationship wanting to be served instead of coming to the relationship serving their man. And that's why so many relationships are broken, because the women come into the relationship thinking that they are the prize. But you're not the prize. You're the prize if he makes you the prize. He's the prize catcher. If he see you as being prize worthy, if he's a wise man, then you are his prize. But see, you don't come into the relationship expecting a bunch of accolades, but you come in with a mission mindset, because marriage is a labor of love. It's a ministry. But many don't come in with a labor mindset. They come in with a me mindset. They come in looking forward to the day, that wedding day, but they make the wedding about her instead of making the wedding about us. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Keep listening.
Serve her husband. So that's a submission. So if the husband wants to feel respected, what the woman will do is that anytime the man desires something, or the
shout
man
out to Alvin, brilliant stuff, coach.
Allow him to have his way.
And shout out to Teapot Tina.
She has it. It is strength under control. I have something I can decide.
Shout out to Teapot Tina. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Thank you for that $4 $5 super sticker. Thank you, Teapot Tina. as we seek to bring balance. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Decide not to do it, but I choose to respect you. I choose to honor you. I choose to adore you. I choose to prioritize you. I choose you as my leader. You are my priest, so I submit to you. I'm a woman. I am valuable. I'm a helper, and I choose to put you first. It is a choice. So the woman chooses to submit to that husband or to her husband or to that man in reverence to God. So she does everything in the marriage, not to even satisfy the man, but in reverence to God. I'm doing it for God. Father, you want me to have peace in my home, so I will submit to my husband. So, for example, if you are doing something and your husband is complaining and your husband is not feeling respected, because when you respect somebody, you esteem the person, you acknowledge the person, you value the person, you ensure that the person is regarded. So that is what you do. So in your home, you ensure that whatever that you would do for your wife, for your husband, to feel that, I mean, he is valuable. Everything, his contribution, you acknowledge it and you appreciate it and you value it and you esteem him. My dear, I love the way you work for us. I love the way you take care of us. I love the way you pay the rent. And I honor you. I esteem you. Okay,
Right.
you appreciate his efforts, and it is important. And also when you come to...
And see, women, when you do that for your man, what you're doing, you're reverencing him. You're lifting him up. You're pouring into him. If I be lifted up from the earth, because man is the first fruit of God's creation, then I'll draw all men unto me. When you lift him up, watch this, he's going to lift you up if he's a righteous man. If you take care of him, then watch this, he's going to take care of you if he's a righteous man. But as I said earlier, so many of you women come into the relationship broken, and you're not ready for the mission of marriage if you're broken. That's why you need to come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com for a non-diagnostic consultation. Some of you women are broken, and some of you men don't know how to lead your woman adequately. Keep listening.
The woman, God told the man to love the woman the way Christ loved the church. And you see, when you look at what Jesus did, the sacrifice that he made, that sacrificial love, it means that you as a husband, you have to make sacrifices for that woman. You have to go out of your way. You have to leave your comfort zone. So sometimes you can even ask your husband, my dear, what can I do to make you feel loved? So I was talking about Gary Chapman's book. It was about the 5 love languages. Some women, when you touch them, they feel loved. When you spend time with them, they feel loved. When you buy them gifts, they feel loved. When you affirm them, they feel loved. When you help them in the house, they feel loved. So don't do what you think is right for your wife. Ask your wife. Ask her, my dear, what can I do to make you feel loved? And you see, women, we have this emotional tank that must be filled all the time. So anytime you tell your wife, I mean, you go out of your way. I know that it may not be natural for you, but you are intentional. You are deliberate. You have decided to make your wife feel loved. So you appreciate her, and then you affirm her. You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in the world. Look at your nose, look at your eyes, look at your mouth. I mean, you appreciate her efforts, and then whatever that she loves, you make sacrifices for her. So if your wife wants to spend more time with you, I know that you may love to go out with your friends and have some time with them, that you will sacrifice that. You will sacrifice that desire so that you can spend time with your wife. You are making, so it is not about I love you, math. When you look at John 3:16, the Bible said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believed in him would not perish but have everlasting life. God loved us, so he gave. So you cannot tell somebody that you love, you cannot tell your wife that I love you and you are not giving anything. You are not making sacrifices for her. God sacrificed his only begotten son, Jesus Christ, so that we will feel loved. So sometimes when we remember what God has done for us, we just want to worship him, or we just want to submit to him because of that sacrifice that Jesus made for us. So the same way, when you start lavishing your wife with love, when you start making sacrifices for her, when you start going out of your way, going out of your comfort zone, to make her feel loved, and then your wife will not, my husband did this sacrifice for me. It is natural for her to submit. And when she is submitting, she's not submitting out of obligation, because there are a lot of women who are submitting out of obligation. I am doing it for God. My husband does not even deserve that respect, because that man does not even respect himself. I mean, removing his trousers here and there, and it's not also taking care of the house. It's not taking his responsibility seriously. So the woman will do it in reference to God. But even when you look at your life, even when you look at your behavior, you are not making any sacrifices for her. You are not going out of your way. So the woman is doing it out of obligation. She is doing it because she loves God. She is doing it because she just wants to honor God. But I believe that if you're a husband, you need to do it so that when your wife is submitting, when your wife is respecting you, you know that you deserve that respect. Because if I'm respecting you and it's like the respect is being commanded, but you didn't earn that respect, you have it, but it is not that nice. So I will appeal to husbands and wives. Wife, no matter what you have, lay it down and serve that man. Okay, lay it down and serve that man. Respect him. When you are doing it for God, and by so doing, okay, God will bless you. God will expand you. And if you're also a husband, make sure that you make sacrifices for your wife. We must understand that men and women, we are different. Everything about us, we are wired and designed differently by God. What I desire may not be something that we desire. But when the two of us, we decide to do marriage God's way, then we can have a successful marriage. And then our marriages will honor God.
I don't have to, like, I don't know, like, it's just a difference. Like, the girls who just get.
And so, guys, this was the young lady, light-skinned Keisha. You know, she was talking about her love for her man, but she got a lot of flack from some of these hyenas because they didn't want to hear it. Jerry. But light-skinned Keisha got a lot of flack because she said, "I love my man. My man comes first." And this sister, even though she's secular, she's making some common sense. She's making common sense. Keep listening.
Get it, like, and at the end of the day, the girls who have a solid relationship or whatever, like, they know exactly what I meant, and they didn't take no offense to it. But I'm confused as to why so many people are just taking offense to it, and it's just like, and you talk about I'm a loser and I'm lame and da 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 da. No, y'all are lame because 9 times out of 10.
And God, that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of unresolved mental illness. Some of it is not organic mental illness, but it's socialization. It's negative socialization because when some women try to bring women to the truth, they reject those women. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear what those women are saying. And so it becomes hard and it becomes very difficult to hear the truth because so many women keep other women single. This woman is putting her priority of her man first. But you got women that are trying to shame her. They're calling her a lame and a loser because she said, my man comes first. But many wonder why they don't have a relationship. And that's why I told you guys, you cannot build a community unless you have accountability, unless you have self-introspection, unless you have principle, and unless you have a high reverence for the men in your community. Until we get that, everything we talk about concerning community, sadly, is only a dream.
You can't. It's coming from women who can't get no man, who can't keep one, let alone you're a side bitch. Let's talk about it,
baby. I could be out with my friends and we could be having a blast, but the minute that my man calls, hello, you say what you want me to come with? I'm out. Mid turn up. I'm out. Period. They be like, where you going? To my man. To my man. You always with him. You was just with him. I don't care. I'm going to be with him. And I'm going to be with him again after that. And again after that. And again after that. Because that's my man. I'm out. Turn up with y'all later. I'll see y'all later. Period.
I don't know. Like, now that I've come out or whatever and I said it again or whatever because basically, like, it still stands. People are, like, mad. They're, like, so upset. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I don't understand. But the thing about it is this. I don't care. Because regardless, the girls who get it. And the girls that don't. This is my thing, though. Like, it's crazy how, like, nowadays, though, you have to go into, like, deeper detail because people just don't understand, like common sense is just not common. Like, that's real.
Let's continue.
So it's just crazy to me because it's just like, people don't get it. Like, okay, so basically I'm finna go into it like this. No, this is what I seen. My thing is this. People need to stop creating fake scenarios about this situation when that's not my reality. For example, people are like, oh yeah, well, first of all, this is how I know that a lot of people also too are traumatized or whatever, and they just be going through stuff. So my thing is this, people, I've seen a lot of women though too, a lot of women mad about this. Okay, we're back, y'all, sorry. But a lot of women was like, oh, well, what's gonna happen or whatever when y'all break up or whatever, da 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 da. First of all, why does that have to automatically be a thing where?
And as I told you guys before in the past, they go into the marriage or the relationship with a deficit mindset because they've been broken due to the pain of their past. When you go in with a deficit mindset instead of going in with a level of vulnerability, then you can't be like Shirley Brown. You can't have a love for your man. And that's the issue, guys, that we're dealing with. A lot of brokenness. A lot of women, they have been indoctrinated by liberal thoughts. They can't hear because they're broken.
It comes down to, oh, when y'all break up, y'all are traumatized. Who has hurt you? Because that should not be the first thing on your mind when you get into a relationship. Like, I just feel like if it's a certain situation that you really want to be in and that person wants to be in it as well too, why does the first thing have to come to mind? Oh, well, when y'all break up. Why do we have to break up? How you know we're going to break up? That's for one. For two, I've seen a lot of women saying, oh yeah, well, is he going to do the same thing for you though? So you know what? I'm going to let Coca answer that question. Baby, answer that question.
What you mean?
Are you going to do the same thing for me if I call and I say, oh, I want to see you or whatever and I want you to come home?
I'm coming home.
You're coming home?
I'm coming home. I'm trying to get in there.
Okay.
I'm coming home.
I agree with him in part on that part. I see where light-skinned Keisha's coming at. But if that man is on his purpose, if he's doing things on his purpose, now she's not a spiritual woman, but she got some good common sense. But if a man is on his purpose and I'm doing things pertaining to my purpose, if it benefits me to come home, I might sacrifice every now and then. But in general, I'm not going to be coming home a lot if I'm on my purpose as a man, because now you're going to get me off my mission and I can't move the family forward and our legacy forward because I'm trying to entertain your feelings. There's a time and a place for all things. You will have a key area in my life, but it'll never supersede my purpose. So I see where light-skinned Keisha's coming from, but it needs to be more nuanced. But I do respect her. She's got a lot more common sense than a lot of these modern women. It's a lag with this internet, man. What's going on?
Definitely come home though, cause like I always come home though. Every time you tell me that you on the way home, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be on the way.
Right, period. So it's another thing too though. I was like, you know, I also realized like that was number two. That's why I feel like a lot of girls are like traumatized or whatever, or you guys, the women who are having so much negative stuff to say about it, like, let's sit down and let's have a conversation and let's talk about why are y'all not going to, why haven't y'all been in relationships with people who actually want to be with you? Like, find you a man that actually want to be with you, because at the end of the day, why, like, the fact that I even have to go into deeper detail is crazy to me about this simple topic, because I'm just like, why are so many people upset about me saying that if my man call, then I'm going home? At the end of the day, first of all, this is my reality. My reality is that, first of all, I don't even really be outside like that, for one. That's a fact. For two, Cole could be the main one telling me to go out when my friends come around or whatever. He be the main one telling me to go out. That's for two. For three, if I'm out with my friends or whatever, and I've been out with my friends or whatever, obviously I'm not finna just be like, oh yeah, I'm out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if I've been out with my friends for a couple of hours or whatever, and we just been hanging and da-da-da-da-da or whatever, and it's getting to a certain time, and then if I haven't been really like, if me and Coca have been like so busy and just like work and just all type of stuff or whatever, and we haven't been really like chilling, and he happened to just be like, oh yeah, baby, like I want to spend some time with you tonight, da-da-da-da-da-da, I'm not gonna lie, my friends have about a good 20 to 30 minutes before I make my exit, and that's just that on that. Period.
Good.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, but I'm not that friend that's gonna be like, oh, I'm never gonna, like, as soon as we get to the spot, oh, I always gotta leave and my boyfriend nagging me, or you know what I'm saying, my fiance, like, cause he don't even do that. Like, he don't even do that. So that's the thing, like, a lot of people talking about, oh yeah, well, if your man is doing that or whatever, as soon as you go somewhere, then that means he's insecure. First of all, he's not even doing all of that. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, why y'all just making up stuff in y'all head? And then on top of that too, I've seen a lot of people saying things like, oh, well, don't try to run back to your friends when y'all have the problems, or, your friends deserve to be your friend time and da-da-da-da-da or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? Like, your friends was always here. It's always going to be here. Your friends was here first. That's not my reality. That's something that you guys are assuming, because it is a fact that Coca is my longest friend. I have known Coca longer than anybody that I'm around today, period. But the fact of the matter is that y'all keep on trying to create scenarios and these scenarios in your head, but that's not my reality. Like, that's not what we're going through. That's not what we have going on. And again, I want all of you women who don't understand that, because the women who get it, they get it, because you know why? They got a man that actually likes them. They have a man that actually enjoys their presence. They have a man that wants to be around them. And a lot of women don't want to take accountability, and I can get into another subject. That'll get us into another subject.
Ooh.
A lot of women don't want to take into account, they don't want to take accountability for their BS and why they don't have.
And, this woman got some good points, but I do agree with the brothers, man. Yeah, she her driving on the side is an issue, but she dressed a little provocative. Fair use, guys, fair use. This is fair use. This is for educational purposes only. But the fact that I do agree with the man, I never let my woman drive unless there's an issue or I'm just tired. But in general, I'm going to take the wheel. But I saw some clips where it did look like, I'm not going to judge the woman. I don't know enough about her. I do like what she's trying to stand for, because at least she do believe in putting her man first. But the question remains that if he is the man in the relationship, because if she was my woman, even though I liked some of the things she's saying, she dressed sort of provocative, and that would be an issue for me. You can't be my woman dressing like that if you're gonna be my woman. But to each his own.
Have a man, or why they can't keep one. So how you gonna tell me about what to do with my man and all this other stuff? I don't have to, I don't know, it's just a difference. Like, the girls who just get it. Like, and at the end of the day, the girls who have a solid relationship or whatever, they know exactly what I meant, and they didn't take no offense to it. But I'm confused as to why so many people are just taking offense to it, and it's just like, and you talk about I'm a loser and I'm lame and da-da-da-da-da. No, y'all are lame, because 9 times out of 10, it's coming from women who can't get no man, who can't keep one, let alone you're a side. Let's talk about it. You having sex with somebody that's not even your man. You doing this or whatever. You catering to a man that's not even yours. So this is why you don't understand, because guess what? You gotta be quiet on the phone. You have to be quiet on the phone when your man is on the phone with his real girlfriend. That's what you used to. That's not my reality. Yep. At the end of the day, women have to go back and correct themselves sometimes, because it's just like.
Well, at least light skin Keisha got a star. Shout out to my man Detroit 313 for that $5 super sticker. I appreciate the brother. He said she's going to eat him up like a blob after the breakup. I think you're right. She couldn't be my woman, but she's at least trying. I do respect that. She got a nice shape, but you can't have a butt that big dressing that provocative being my queen. I can't. I can't handle that. I get a scheme affliction. But keep listening, guys, and then we're gonna drop the link in a minute.
A lot of women are just out here broken, and y'all spreading this negativity and this brokenness amongst others because they're happy. Stop hating on people because they're happy. If I want to be with my man, I have every right to be with my man. My man, period. And my man ain't left me for dead. So, and hopefully he won't. Period. But all I'm just saying is those who have been watching us, you know what I'm saying? They know that me and Coca have been in a very solid, committed relationship. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never been in the blogs for no BS, no crazy stuff and all this other stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no gimmick. You know what I mean? This ain't this ain't no PR. This ain't none of that. This is a real situation to where we're going to eventually have a family together, all type of stuff. So I just feel get with the program, and you either get it or you don't. And I don't care I don't care what you really necessarily think of me either, because I'ma still stand by what I said, because I said what I said. And that's another thing too these days. A lot of people don't stand by what they say. I'ma stand on what I say. period, if that's exactly 100% how I feel. A lot of women can learn so much if you just sit back and just be quiet. But the problem is that y'all want to argue about other people's preferences and stuff like that. We've gotten to a point to where in this world, you can't even say your actual opinion because people will literally hold it against you. And people will try to cancel you for it. And people will try to, you know what I'm saying, come at you for it. But it's like, an opinion is an opinion because it's mine. Regardless of what your opinion is, I can respect your opinion. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I want to do. So why are y'all taking offense to what I'm saying, what's going on in my relationship? Go find a man that really like you. A lot of y'all saying that because y'all haven't experienced a relationship maybe where, or a situation to where a dude is showing you unconditional love.
Shout out to my man Dwayne Brown for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, Dwayne Brown, man. Much love and blessings, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to Black Uru Strikes. How you doing, brother? He said he sounds like a side B. Yeah, I agree, Black Uru. I gave her props at first, but I think she's the dominant one in the relationship.
Like, or just unconditional attention. Like, a lot of women need attention, need love. You need, you know what I'm saying? We need that real, like, you know what I'm saying? We need somebody to really care. But a lot of times y'all be setting yourselves up because y'all entering these toxic situations, and that's why you don't understand what I'm talking about. That's why, because at the end of the day, and you talking about friends, these be the same friends that y'all go home and y'all talk about. These be the same friends that you know what I'm saying? Like, you dogging back when you get home. To whoever and whoever. So let's talk about it. The facts are the facts. Like, the facts are the facts, and that's just that on that. I didn't even expect for that video to, like, go as viral as it did. But it went viral because, you know, there's a lot of mad girls. And
they super mad. I seen it.
They're super mad. Like, they're super mad. But it's just like, at this point, I don't really, like, that's between you and God, honey, because I don't got nothing to do with that. Like, I don't know what y'all expect me to do. Like, they super mad. And also, too, like, if my friends, because my friends will do the exact same, if they man is calling them and they really just, you know what I'm saying, they man is, like, on some, like, you know, he really want to, like, spend time or whatever, they're dipping. Now, I understand if it's a friend that's like, okay, every time y'all get to the situation, every time y'all get to the event or to the, you know what I'm saying, to the little function or whatever, she always got to leave here, she always got to leave or whatever, because they man is being like a bugaboo. That's a different story. That's definitely annoying, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, y'all are funny, man. Y'all are super funny. But listen, like Daryl J said, at least she's aware. She's trying, you know. She definitely come get a non-diagnostic consultation, but she is trying. At least she's trying to honor and respect her man to some degree. But he does seem a little bit on the weak side, because I agree with the fellas. I'm not gonna be letting my wife do the majority of the driving. I'm gonna take the wheel, and I'm gonna run the relationship. But we need more women like Shirley Brown. And a lot of men are looking for women like Shirley Brown. Those were the women of the past. Shirley Brown was notorious for saying,
now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine.
Yeah, we need more women like Shirley Brown, a woman that loves her man. Because many men have not seen it in its purest form. So we're going to go back and look at, this has been a great stream, guys, and I can't believe 2 hours has already passed, man. But I put a lot of time into this show, man. I appreciate to everyone that have donated. Thank you, guys. Much love and blessings. You guys look out. I really appreciate it. You guys always come through. We start a little slow, but you guys came through. So let's go back and look at everything, guys. We can go back and look at the three different archetypes. So you got the non-traditional modern woman. She's selfish. She lacks self-awareness. She's very promiscuous. She lacks accountability. She's slanderous. When you think about the death of Kevin Samuels, as I said earlier, they began to slander his name. You didn't have to agree with everything the man said, but to celebrate a man in his death, to me, is a sign of disrespectful, but also psychotic behavior. They're fatherless. They are the eternal victim. They're vengeful. Her feelings matters over principles. They are indoctrinated. They have thinking errors, cognitive dissonance, unresolved trauma, and many of them secretly hate men. Non-traditional modern woman, indoctrinated. The next one is the carnal Christian woman. These are the women that go to church every Sunday. They say, I love Jesus, but they're no different than the women of the world. They have a form of godliness. They love the world. They're very religious. They never fast or pray. They're victims of spiritual blindness. They're Christian feminists. They're no different from the world. They're rebellious. They challenge the authority of their husband. They have a lust for power. They want to be just like the First Lady. They want to be like, Creflo Dollar wife and Jamal Bryant and all these other big-time preachers, T.D. Jakes. They want to have a seat at the helm of the pastor. They're prone to gossip. They got to be right. And them, just like the modern woman, they love attention. They have an attention addiction. Instead of their husband being enough, they want to show their body to the world and to other men so that they can lust after. They want free attention. And so when that man, their husband, is busy working 16 or 12 hours, they get in their feelings. And they, and see what men don't understand, some say, well, I didn't cheat because I didn't have sex. No, sweetie, if you're entertaining other men, if you're talking to other men while you got a husband or a boyfriend, you're cheating. It's a soft form of cheating, but it's still cheating because if you can't do it in front of his face, then it's cheating. And a lot of women do it. They love the attention from other men. When a woman loves her man 100%, she lives to please her husband and her man. But when a woman hold on to you for provision, protection, but she's secretly talking to other men, that's a problem. And then once again, to the 37 that came in, the spiritual woman. It's like women of the past. Women of the past, similar to your great-grandmoms and your grandmoms and your great-great-grandmoms. They're Proverbs 31 traits. They does not seek worldly fame. They are kingdom-minded. They seek to please their husband. They have control over their emotions. They're prayer warriors. They understand the hierarchy. They don't seek attention. Her heart is for her family. She is a wife, not a partner, which is a modern concept. She dresses modestly. She works outside of the home and manages her time. She's not prone to gossip, and she takes accountability. And we know that this type of woman is a unicorn because you're not going to find that here in America. It's extremely rare. And when women like her try to do the right thing, you're going to have women that are going to try to shame her and say, oh, you're a slave. Your husband controls you. You don't have a life. So they're trying to shame the righteous women for doing the right thing. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Let me read through some of these comments, guys, and I'm going to drop the link. And we're going to have a conversation because these conversations are very important. He said, that ended it looked seriously wicked. He said they would die alone. No doubt, Amana, lovely. Thank you, dear. Thank you, sir. Really blessed live. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Share the content. If you guys share the content, I need at least 5 people. I need 5 to 10 people to share this content, but at least 5 people. When you guys share the content, I need to see it. I'll see it when you share it because it'll be on the timeline. When you share it, hit 1. I got some things lined up for you guys. As I told you guys, I am a licensed therapist. Being a therapist and doing content, it's draining and it's extremely time consuming. But because I love you guys and I love the brotherhood and I love the good women that are trying to learn, I put in the time. So guys, please share this content, share the stream if you have not donated. When 5 people share, I need you to hit 1. When 5 share, hit 1. And we're going to drop the link in a minute and we're going to have a conversation. It's not going to be long, maybe under the next 30 minutes. But share the link and we're going to have a conversation, guys. I really appreciate it. Shout out to everyone that's been listening. You guys are awesome. Shout out again, James Brown. Dwayne Brown showed me a lot of love tonight, no doubt. Shout out to Dwayne Brown. He said that doubling up. I appreciate it, man. Another $5. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You're an awesome brother. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. You guys are awesome because we need to bring more balance in these turbulent times. Men want to be loved. Men want to be honored. Men want to be respected. The love of a man is tied to reverence of a man. And so I appreciate it, Cortez Smith and Neo Moses. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I need 3 more. I need 3 more to share this stream. I got 2 so far, but I need 3 more. I need 3 more to share this stream. I need 3 more. Trying to grow this channel, guys. It's a lot of work. When I have shows like this, sometimes it's met with great consternation because, people don't want to hear the truth. And I'm not doing it to be a butthole, but, I grew up in it. And as I said, I'm a man before I'm a therapist. My profession does not supersede my masculinity. A lot of people say, oh, he's a therapist. No. What's your point? I'm many things. I was in law enforcement. I was a teacher. I'm many things. So my profession as a clinician does not supersede my masculinity as a man. My masculinity will always come first. My masculinity and my respect as a man will always come first. So, guys, I got 2. I need 3 more to share the stream. 3 more, please. I need 3 more. Come on, guys. I need you guys to help me out. 3 more to share the stream. And then I'm going to drop the chat and we're going to have a conversation because, we need solutions. And I think we know what the solutions are, but we need solutions. So like I said, guys, I got a lot of things up my sleeves that I'll be working on. I just got to find the time to do it. I need to take off about a week of work and really focus on getting this thing popping. But it's really hard to try to work and do YouTube, man. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, man. So, but like I said, I got 2 people to share the stream. So guys, I need someone else to do it as well. Hold tight. Hold tight, brothers and sisters. Hold tight. Because this is definitely on my mama. Hold tight. What am I looking for? I'm looking for... Oh, yeah. So this is the part of the show, guys. We got to find some solutions because if we don't find solutions, then we can't win. So this is the part of the show.
This is the part of the show where we find solutions.
All right, brothers, what are the solutions moving forward? Can we get women that are all for their men? I would say in these modern times, I would say no. But there are women from other countries. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that there's not a remnant of women. There's some decent sisters out here, but it's far and few in between, in my opinion. Traveling abroad will help some, but you got to realize that even in world travel, those women have been influenced by social media and liberalism as well. So you got to have a plan if you're going to win. If you don't have a plan, then you will not win. Shout out to my man, Tradition versus Modern Talks. How you doing, brother? And I want you to give me your take on this this stream, brother, because a lot of men are looking for women like Shirley Brown.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine.
You just said with the list of characteristics, the virtuous woman, and you have the voluptuous woman. So we have to realize and decipher the women that are for the luxury, but not the work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like going back to that same conversation. I think I came on your show in the past with Chantel. We talk about the princess mindset versus the queen mindset.
Right.
The queen wants to put the hands to the labor and help out with the family building versus, oh, I just don't want to be that dude. I just want to be able to sit back and relax. But it's not really that case. You got to help out. Go ahead.
No, you're fine, man. You are a millennial, I think, or a zennial. Are you a zennial or a millennial?
29 millennium.
Oh, you're a millennial, right? And all for my man. What does that mean to you when you hear the words "all for my man"? What does that mean to you? What resonates when you hear that? And what do you feel tradition versus modern talks is lacking in the dynamics of many modern women, in your opinion?
I think taking the ear to hear the women who are doing it right, like that woman that went viral Puerto Rican woman that was married to a guy that's 40, 49, 50, named Ali, the one that told the feminists that she said she believes in submission to her husband. And that blew up on YouTube for everybody. So it kind of made everybody look at her crazy. But that kind of lady right there, I would understand why would not ladies want to go ask her for advice to get the ring. And she's 27 and he's 50. So I don't think that age gap is the issue. It's just that you would never seen it in a home. You're gonna be against something that you're not used to and think that it's controlling you. It's always that mindset like, why do you think this man's trying to control you, but he's trying to guide you? That, like you said, Adam is called to lead the house, right? And Eve is gonna follow her husband. He said Adam and Eve, not Adam and a chief. You see what I'm saying? I don't care how many degrees you got, like a thermostat, but it doesn't make the family stronger because you have more money. It's all about the family structure. You're trusting the man because God said it should not be blaspheming. If you have his ways, you trust him, you will have the word of God fulfilled.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of men are looking for a time when we can get back to that. You know, a lot of guys are looking for women that can accommodate them and honor them and respect them. D said, hopefully, the young men ages 15 plus are able to get the information in order to avoid and not interact with females in this country. Your wife, tradition versus modern talks. Was she from America?
My ex was from New Jersey, actually.
Right. What were some of the struggles? And you share what you feel comfortable sharing.
Oh yeah, you good. I think it's helps out there who are going through this. Well, what I didn't do when I realized what she wasn't the right woman was, you know, when things didn't go her way, I get a lot of pouting, a lot of arguing, a lot of hatred, talking like, where's this coming from, right? I kind of thought about this and going through my therapy with my first therapist before I met you. Basically, I've learned that she was projecting her father onto me that he wasn't. So it's like, if I made a mistake, there's no grace in that area. So basically, I'm taking the beating for the father that wasn't fulfilling those areas, and he wasn't there for that. And so it's like, it's like I'm being a father to my spouse. See what I'm saying? And I'm not supposed to be your daddy. I'm supposed to be your husband, not your daddy. You know what I'm saying? And daddy is another thing. That's a whole thing I could say right there. But with that type of mindset, I realized she never got that unresolved issue checked. And even my personal friends who are believers, of course, in the church, we all took account of talking about this. Like, you know, we didn't see that from her when we first met her, but it was there. It just was dormanted until something sparked it. It came out of her. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go through those triggers, and you don't know triggers for people having, but I know my triggers, but I don't let my triggers control me because I know it's not a bad trigger. It's just that if I disagree with you, I'm going to let my head shake or my head go up and down if I'm triggered. But the thing is, that's the issue that most, I think, ladies I've seen, and I'm talking about the Black community, they don't address those triggers. It's going to be on somebody that didn't deserve to go through what you are experiencing from the past. That's not their fault. That's a trauma response.
Right.
That was my response that was my experience dealing with the trauma response. And honestly, like I told you, she told me her parents said therapy's for white people, and that was like a race thing to them. So it's like, we can't get mental help, so we can just stay like this for the rest of our lives. So what's that going to do? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. And this the ignorance, because therapy only work unless you work it. You have to work the therapeutic process if you want it to work. But therapy is for anybody if they apply it correctly. The sad thing is most people don't want to work the process, and because they don't work the process, then of course, you know, they don't get the outcomes that they want. But there's a lot of brokenness in our communities, man. A lot of brokenness, a lot of lack of self-introspection, a lot of women that are not willing to take on the mantle of maturity that's necessary to have a more perfect union. You know, times are getting tight. Tradition versus modern talks, and you know, what are they going to do when these gas prices get up to $7 an hour? You know, what are they going to do? Go ahead.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I'm home right now. I got the you know, the C stuff, the virus thing. But I'm kind of not feeling well. But when I was looking outside and thinking about how I'm going through this alone, it just made me have an epiphany. Like, I should be with somebody on the same page right now. I shouldn't be going through this alone, but I am. Right. So it's like, come on, man. We shouldn't be fighting singleness to stay sane. It's like, I think there's a saying, I don't know if it's a study, but it said that single people tend to last, I don't know if it's less life. I don't know if that was true, but I saw an article and I was like, wow, I didn't even know that, you know, singleness is actually affecting us more as men, because it's really not meant to be alone, because nobody's in the Bible and none. That's not biblical. You know what I'm saying? And I've talked to some ladies about that. I'm like, why do you think that this is going to help you being in this degree program for several years until you're almost 29, and you could have been wifed off and have a family? But the thing is, this like you said, this, you know, the sisterhood is in their mind. It's like that's all they were told. And it's, to be honest, all these degrees, and you know what I'm saying, look, the church is not even telling them the truth. They're gonna have to go look outside, like hearing you. You know what I'm saying? I had to send ladies to you who I found that were talking like the whole degree thing, and they were never getting the right they were never getting the right therapy. And they go through the therapist that not even talking like you. So that's even
right. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I think what people have in me is rare because I hear it all the time, and a lot of the men feel the same way because they don't know how to think outside the theoretical context of therapy. They don't know how to infuse spiritual truths with the template of traditional therapy. Yeah. I try to be very eclectic in how I present what I present to the people. But like I said, man, you know, these shows are necessary. Many times I get a lot of pushback, or I get pushback. Folks get mad or unsubscribe, but I'm all for seeing men liberated. I believe when men are liberated, then we can liberate our women. But men cannot properly liberate and love their women until they understand that they are broken. And I'm going to do a show soon talking about that very soon, maybe tomorrow. What is your greatest fear about ever getting another good woman, man? Because a lot of guys are becoming fearful. Now, some will say guys can't get women because they're lames or they don't know how to communicate. They're socially awkward. That might be some truth to it, but
some truth to it. But I think it can get worked out. People that say like, because at heart I'm a nerd. You know, I work for a blue collar job doing trucks and stuff, and I do esports on the side for full, like part time. So I do content for that team in Africa. But the thing is, yeah, social awkwardness can be in some guys, but does that mean it has to be there forever? Guys can work out of that. Like I was awkward in high school and middle school, and then college came around. I got better at talking because I didn't have that talk to my father. My father he's from Africa, you know what I'm saying? Straight from West Africa all day. But my father and my mother, you know, they only knew what they knew. So I could only go off what they were telling me. As I stepped out of my comfort zone, talked to most of my white friends, my Hispanic friends, my Asian friends, not just the black people, because I've always had my friends. My parents always told me to stay away from them. It's funny that you say, in our community, we have so many issues. Like I can't even talk to my own people because I thought my parents were crazy, but they were right because they didn't know any better, but it's all the news. And it's all they were telling them to believe that was the case for them. So thankfully, my father and my mother, you know, they didn't raise no fool. But like I said, I've been single since 2019, but I've been patiently waiting to get married again for the opportunity, waiting for sex for marriage, not just for that only, but that's where it needs to stay in for my journey because I've only been with one woman. Yeah, I'm a virgin from 25 to 29 again. So I know how it feels to wait, so I don't have to worry about bouncing a girl to girl because I would never do that because that whole thing to me was scaring me when I was in high school. They told us STDs and pregnancy, but you know. But my only fear is to your question to answer. It's just that I don't want to. I'm honestly saying this right now. If anybody watching, picking someone that wasn't really ready for the job. And does that mean I'm putting them out there to say that they're not going to get married? Not at all. I think it's really important to know that because look, everybody's not ready for something until they realize, do they know what comes with the job? And that's really a part of learning. Like you sign up for a position. It's like, do you want this spouse? Because you know what's going to come with it, right? You're going to have to come with work. I can't just get married and think that I'm okay as a man. That's it. I got a wallet. I got money. I got a, genital. That's not it, yo. I got to put more work in as a man because I'm dying for my spouse. I'm saying I'm dying for my spouse. I'm not out here trying to play the boo-boo the fool. You know what I'm saying? So my goal is to continue to stay strong on my beliefs and also lead a woman closer to God because that's my goal. Not the whole lifestyle, this whole, I got all the cars and clothes. Like, that's not the main thing. If it comes, God, thank you for that. But if it doesn't come to that point to be up there like all these 1%ers, that's fine. But I want to have enough to know I'm taking care of my family, providing what it need and what they want. If I get those things, I'll get it. But a wife that can support through it, not just doing only my work, but she got to have me my back. Because when I go down, she got to be able to step up if I'm down, if I'm going through some life stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Respect. Shout out to my man, Maurice Speaks, the Beast. Keep doing his God work, brother. I appreciate it, man.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Thank you, sir.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
As we seek to bring balance in these very turbulent times. A lot of men have never experienced a love like Shirley Brown when she said, I love that man woman to woman. women of the past had I think they were able to love better modern versus traditional because many of them didn't have a lot of experiences with men due to promiscuity. But I think so many of these modern women have had so much quote unquote fun, they have a hard time bonding. They're dealing with a lot of trauma from relationships, and they can't give that man the best because they're broken. They're broken. Some are broken irreparably. And until we get back to the mantle of responsibility, as I said earlier, we hear so many talking about community, but until our women can be responsible, until they can be accountable, until they can be self-aware, until our men can start demanding better and more or less being leaders themselves, you're not going to have a community. It's just poppycock. It's just good for the mouth. But, as a therapist and working in teaching and also in law enforcement, I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. Things have gotten precipitously worse. It hasn't gotten better. And I'm not saying that because I want to be a pessimist. I just see it for what it is. And, and I don't think the trajectory is going to end anytime soon. Things appear to be getting worse and worse and worse because there are nefarious people behind the scene. I believe many are oligarchs that are trying to subvert traditionalism, and also they're trying to subvert what's necessary for a more perfect union as relates to children. Do you have any closing comments? Let me read, hold tight.
Yeah.
I think Barry Cortez Smith, he's right. He said that, social awkwardness is not why guys don't get chosen. He's a lot of women. Yeah, that's what I agree with that, Cortez. I'm saying it plays a role, but you're right. There are some guys that's normal guys and they still don't get chosen, man. So, because these chicks, some of them got super high expectations. If I was a single man in the game again, man, I probably would stay single, man, because I'm old school. I know what I want. I'm not going to sell it for anything less. And I'm not going to be arguing with no woman in my latter years. I want peace as I get ready to transition to the glory world. So I'm not going to be arguing with no woman, man. I just don't have the energy, man. Don't have the energy nor the time. Gregory Scotland said that Generation X women carried the problematic attitudes forward. The 80s ushered in some serious decline in the black communities. I agree with you, Greg. You're right, brother. Shout out to Bolo TV. Bolo TV, if you want to come on, brother, add to this conversation, please do. I'll drop the link for you, Bolo. I would love to have you come on, man. So you're a very bright brother. Come on, Bolo, if you want to have a conversation with me. Because the topic of the show is all for my man. And we had women like Shirley Brown from the past. She wrote songs called Woman to Woman. And she talked about how much she loved her man. So, Bolo, if you want to come on, brother, come on. I haven't forgot you. You're not supposed to be doing the show at some point in the future. But Bolo, if you're in the house, man, feel free to pop on, brother. I would love to hear you. If you want to add to this conversation, this discussion, as we seek to bring balance to a time when things are very turbulent. So, Bolo, the stream has been dropped, brother. Feel free to pop on. If not, I understand. Guys, the link has also been dropped to anyone else that would like to add to the discussion. What was your take, tradition versus modern, over this light-skinned Keisha fiasco, where she got a lot of negative pushback, for saying, my man comes first? Okay, hold tight. That's go ahead.
Yeah, she came out the right time. I mean, it's like the Kevin Samuel effects they're saying today. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to happen. So they're going to say everybody sound like Kevin Samuel, but the thing is, he's going to stay in their head for the rest of their life because he was right. And unfortunately, they got to live with that truth because, let's be real, he wasn't lying about some stuff that we're suffering in the community with right now that we're not addressing. And I think for them to think that men should not date outside, that's not really the main issue. It's just that you guys got to look at the bigger picture, that men are not picking from the culture no more because we're seeing the same type carbon copies again every time. It's like you want to understand that person that's not like you, but it's like you got to look at yourself and realize, am I like the last women that are today's time? You know what I'm saying? That's really all we have to ask ourselves as ladies. If they ask themselves, they will learn that and not realize, I'm not acting like the woman that these men want. Right. And I have to be better so I can get the men that I pray I want. It don't got to be all this extra, like, why does school have to make a bigger difference? It's like spiritually, I mean, even I said Kevin made a point about Christian feminists in the church. Like, that's a thing. It's like, I'm in Dallas. So it's popular here. So, I mean, I'm not even trying to find that. But the thing is, if we get that corrected, they will do better for the men that they say they want, but they don't
Right.
want them. And like, why are you losing the men? They go into the other people that are open to be wives that are truly traditional women.
Well, you know, these conversations are necessary, man. We're getting it. Bolo, how would you like to add to the conversation, brother? You know, we're talking about all for my man. And there was a woman in the past, Bolo, I don't know how old you are, but there was a woman by the name of Shirley Brown. Shirley Brown often bellowed this sentiment.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine.
Bolo, how you doing, brother? And what happened to women like Shirley Brown and the Fannie Lou Hamers of the world and the more recently modern light-skinned Keisha? Even though she's starting off right, she might not have it all together, but at least she realizes that putting her man is important. Well, how would you like to add to the conversation how women of the past have greatly de-evolved from the women, or women of the modern have de-evolved from women of the past?
Well, first, I would like to say thank you for having me on, and
no doubt,
you know what's going on, traditional versus modern talks.
Last name Dolo, so Bolo, we got a similar thing in mind.
Coach, you guys are on point, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the culture. There's a gap between the older, you know, generation and the younger generation.
Right.
And this younger generation is trying to figure things out, not understand it, and then they're not patient. They're not figuring things out on how to be a man. You know, you have young men trying to figure out how to be a father, how to be a man, how to be a husband, all at the same time, you know, which makes things much harder, right? Mm-hmm. And the one thing that, you know, I always say that before I'm a father, before I'm a husband, I'm a man of God.
Right.
That transcends all those paradigms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So having those parameters is going to give me the strength and the wherewithal to understand what I need to do as a man, as a father, as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
So when we try to jump into these things and not knowing our wealth, not knowing our worth, right? So you have a diamond.
Right.
Now, you know, you have diamonds that are one carat that's worth $10 million. You have a diamond that's 1 carat that's worth $50, right? If you don't do the math, if you don't do the studying, if you don't do the homework and don't know what that diamond is worth, you can never get its value. Right. Once you do that math and you get and you understand what the worth is, now you can demand the value in your standards, right? Like you said, if you were single now, you ain't arguing with no woman because you understand your standards. These women nowadays are not living up to it. You know, we have the traditional woman versus the modern woman. And there's a distinct difference. You know, you look at the modern woman, it's all about them. Right. It's all about me trying to get mine and do what I need to do to get to where I need to be.
Right.
The traditional woman understood her position in the home.
Right.
A traditional woman's thought process was able to be tenacious enough to get the degrees, get the PhDs, go into that workforce, do what she needs to do to get the spoils and bring it home to the family.
Yes, sir. Excellent. Right.
So she was able to go into that situation, same as the traditional man and the modern man. The traditional man knows how to be in the world, but not of it.
Right.
A lot of us get caught up. A lot of us hear what this, you know, what society is saying, and we get bent to it.
Right.
We get bent to it and lost. Right. So you know you're not ready for that big 5-bedroom home. But because your woman is hearing everybody else in her circle getting these homes, you bend.
Right.
Instead of you taking that stand and say, yo, listen, man, we can't afford it right now. So you know what? You just going to have to cry, deal with it. And when we get to that point where I can maintain it, then we'll get to that. See, a lot of us, what we're doing is we're bending to these women and then we're blaming them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree, brother.
You know what I'm saying? We're bending to them and then blaming them and not looking in the mirror and saying, but hold on, G. You know, you got to look in the mirror.
I'll look in the mirror.
You could have just told her, you know, I always use this example. And, you know, my wife don't like when I use it, but I use it anyway. I'm in a minivan and I'm on, I have a destination. Now, me as a man, I don't want to be by myself in this minivan. I want people with, I don't want to be alone. I want company, right? But damn it, don't get it twisted. I could do it by myself.
Right.
And that's the problem. Us as men, we're not patient.
Right.
Right? We want the woman that we want instead of the woman that we need.
Right. Excellent
the woman
point.
that you need is going to pray for you. She going to cover you when you can't cover yourself. She going to give back into you. Know what I'm saying? When you get that woman that you want, you know, you're using your sight instead of vision. You see that fat behind and you like, damn, I'm never going to get a chick like this again, man. Mm-hmm. So you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to do it. And then when you get her pregnant and she ain't worth the paper that she's printed on.
Right.
Now you get pissed off and angry when she taking you to court.
Right.
You know, she was a viper when you met her. You thought you can change her. A viper is a viper, man.
A viper is a viper.
Viper's a viper.
I totally agree.
You know, don't get pissed off when you put your hand to the cage and the damn tiger take your hand off.
Right.
Why do we kill a tiger?
Right.
We have to understand that these women are who they say they are.
They are who they say they are. Right.
They are who they say they are. You can't, in your mind, make them something that you want them to be. They are who they are.
They are who they are.
If they present themselves as a woman that's not worth you, and I'm going to say it again, a woman that is not worth you, then do not demean yourself and give yourself to a woman that's not worth you.
Yes, sir.
And I would say that for the women.
Right. Same for the women.
Not
right.
Worth you.
Right.
Then don't give yourself to them. You have to know your worth.
Right.
Once you know your worth, your standard will weed these cats out.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Right. I totally agree. And you know what, Bolo? I don't know how old you are, brother.
49. I'm going to be 50 this year.
Okay. You're not, we're from the same generation, class of 90 here. Well, supposed to be in the class 89, but you 90, 91. And things have taken a change for the worse, in my opinion. I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna say this, Bolo. I had some people on my panel, shout out security boss, and I love her. We agree on some things, some things we don't, but I do respect her. And you might not agree with me 100%, and that's fine. I still respect you as my brother. But there was a time, Bolo, we didn't say words like partner. That's a neoliberal construct.
No doubt.
It's no damn such thing as no partner. You're not my partner. You're my wife. And the churches. Liberalism has snuck into the churches. It snuck into the psyche of a lot of these women now, Bolo. That when we try to bring clarity, folks get in their feelings because they don't understand their purpose. I told women this. I've said on one of the shows I had when I said your loyalty is his royalty. No doubt, your loyalty is his royalty because see, before Eve came, Adam's purpose was his worship of Yahweh. It was Yahweh first, his purpose, which was his dominion, the name of the animals subduing the earth. But the woman came out of him to help him foster his vision. But see, what women don't understand because they are creatures of feeling, a true woman understands when she's a Proverbs 31 woman that a man gonna always put God and his purpose first, because when that man is putting God and his purpose first, then that woman's gonna be taken care of on the back end. As I said earlier, Bolo, if you came in late, the great teacher said that I'll be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. That's what Jesus said. And so when you lift him up, then he's gonna take care of you on the back end because he's a righteous man. But see, so many modern women said that they are spiritual, but they're really carnal. They don't understand kingdom principles. They want the man to think based on how they feel,
yes, sir,
instead of thinking based on principle. Men do things based on principle, not on feelings. Like I said earlier, the woman is insular, so she needs to receive the love of a man, which is the eros, but the man is masculine. He's principle. His phallus symbolizes the scepter, which is the royal scepter, which symbolizes principle. So when she take care of the phallus and respect the phallus or respects the principle, then that man feels loved and respected. But see, too many modern women try to subjugate or change the trajectory of how men think based on how they feel. And see, I've always said, Bolo, a woman can't really be a wife until she knows how to control her feelings. When she can control her feelings, she's ready for the mission of that relationship, but also ready for the mission of the kingdom. But you can't be in kingdom if you're in your feelings, because see, what will happen, you will become a slave to your feelings, which in essence will make that man become a slave to you, which in essence will make him operate in idolatry. And so men got to understand that when they come into that relationship, you don't neglect your woman. You do love her. You do protect her and guide her. But she's not going to come first.
But see, that's
in your
the
life.
problem. That's the problem, Kosher. The problem is the church is lying.
Yes.
The problem is the church right now it's a business, right?
It's a business, right?
See, when we look at the Old Testament, it was a shadow of what was to come. The church was always the people. This is why Christ had beef with the Pharisees and Sadducees, because he never taught in a building. He always taught in the highways and the byways. He came to teach the people that you are the church. In fact, he said, who can put me in a building made with man's hands?
Right.
What the church is not teaching is this. Men and women are created equal in love.
Right.
In creation. But we're not equal in purpose.
Right.
This is what they're not teaching. Right. God loves the eagle as much as he loves the mouse, but he created the eagle to eat the mouse.
Right.
This is what they're not giving them. They're not giving them truth. They're giving them idolatry. Exactly what you said. You know, I wanted to tell you, slow it down. Because when we talk the way we talk right now, there's so much that people miss.
Right.
Because there's so much information to take in. And what you just said, that little 5 minutes of what you said, good God, there's so much that cats miss.
Right.
And and women, they take it as we're trying to put our foot on their neck.
But not.
And it's not. You've been given something that you shouldn't have never been given.
Right.
So we're just trying to correct the course. Because like you said, if I keep my father first, by him, see, this is what women don't understand. What they don't understand is by me being a God-fearing man, that makes me more of a servant than it makes me a king.
Right.
This is what they don't get. They think that by me being head or king or whatever name you want to give me, you don't understand that I have to make sure that my home is right. The Lord tells you, make sure before you get my house right, get yours right. Make sure my children are good. Make sure my wife is good. My better half, as they say. This is what they don't understand. There's more strength in their femininity than there is in masculinity. See, women don't understand that it's a vibrational thing. Everything is vibrations, right? It's like you walk into a room and I can say, yo, kosher and traditional, in CG, yo, something is wrong here. I just walked into the room and I know y'all got beef. It's the vibration. So when I'm talking to my woman, it's a vibration. Femininity and masculinity are perfectly created for each other. When you try to redefine them, then we have the problem. Houston, we have a problem. So when a woman talks to me in her femininity, there is so much strength in it that I'm going to respond accordingly, right? I'm going to respond accordingly. Jezebel had Ahab wrapped around her finger, not through masculinity, but through femininity.
Do femininity,
he had
yes,
him
sir.
bugging the hell out, doing all wicked stuff, not through, yo, son, this is what we got to do. No, she was doing that, honey.
Right.
You need to build these idols and such and such. And he tapped into that.
He tapped into it,
when you match my vibration of masculinity, now I'm no longer dealing with the vibration of femininity. Now I got to match that intensity. Now I got to match it. And then nothing gets done, right? Nothing gets done. So now we have people that are baseball players trying to be hockey players and hockey players trying to play soccer. Everyone is playing the wrong damn game. When our job is to serve the Father. My job is to serve him. Your job is to serve him. And together we serve him. But there's a position.
It's a position.
In how we do this.
How we do it, right.
In the church. I'm so hard on the church. I'm so disappointed in the church. Because this is the thing that messes me up and it gets me angry, Kosher. That you have all of these men and women that listen to these pastors that talk about bread and talk about, you know, the prosperity gospel. And nobody has a Bible open or a pen and pencil, pen and paper. Nobody's writing nothing down. They're just listening to them, and it's this feel-good prosperity. It's this feel-good thing, and they walk out. And if you pull 10 different Christians to the side, they'll have 10 different breakdowns. When the Lord tells you, you all should speak the same thing. So what does that mean? That means that when I go home, I sit down with my wife and we go through it. She asks me a question and I make sure she gets it. That's what church is supposed to be. This is church. Not no damn building that I gotta give bread to where the pastor's rolling around the G5 and I go home to the projects.
Right.
When the family structure is broken.
Right.
When you have men that don't have a place to speak.
Right.
Thank God for you.
Right.
And you know, it's just crazy, man.
It is crazy, brother. You know, and I'm a licensed therapist. So, you know, most therapists won't touch what I'm doing, but because I am the kosher clinician, I take risks. But it's a fire in me that can't be quenched. It's not in my nature to tap dance. It's not in my nature to pander. I'm an old school archetype from the past. You know, up top they used to say "word is bond." That's how
word
I operate.
Is bond, my G.
Yeah, that's how I operate. Right. You know, so I'm not like some of these simp surfers, man. You know, they do what the woman say, and you know, I will do what my wife said. I don't do that goofy shit. I'm gonna respect my woman, but she gonna understand order. I want to show you something, man, because I think when men return back to the mantle of masculinity, we will have a more vibrant community. But I don't see it in this lifetime. I think it's going to take some years. And, you know, I've always said, I tell women, Bolo, I said that we are equal in human essence. We essentially are equal in human essence, but we're not equal in role and design.
Of course.
And so many of our women have been, you know, compromised due to the voice of the serpent, you know, the snake whisperer.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, so many of our women have been sabotaged because they don't listen to what masculine men are saying. And, you know, they've been so wayward for so long that when they hear the truth, they can't receive it because it seems strange because they are operating in the flesh. But I want to show you something. You know, I said this earlier, and I said the non-traditional modern woman. I said she's very selfish. She lacks self-awareness. She's promiscuous. She lacks accountability. She's slanderous. She's rebellious. She's fatherless. She's an eternal victim. She's vengeful. Her feelings over principle. She's indoctrinated. Many times these indoctrinations, like partners, come from liberal schools because, like I said, when you and I were kids, we never heard the word partner. I heard it the first time when I was in grad school. I'm like, what the hell is a partner? I thought it was just husband and wife. But it goes back to, you know, stuff leading up to the alphabet community. And so many people say it now because they have more or less taken it subconsciously. There are some people that use it and, you know, they just mean it. They don't have any malice or forethought. But many use it and they know what they're saying because they want egalitarian relationships where the men and women have shared, they are both equal in power. And it would never work on my clock. They have thinking errors, they have cognitive dissonance, they have unresolved trauma, and they secretly hate men. What do you think about that?
I'd say this to you. Absolutely. You know, women want the authority of a man, they want the privileges of a woman, and they want the accountability of a child.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the modern woman is flawed. The modern woman is flawed. And the way that they get you to think that the modern woman isn't flawed is to get you to think like a modern woman.
Excellent.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you see, that's the way you get it. The way that I get you to believe a lie is to make you believe the lie. And make sure you ever see that Twilight Zone where everyone looked like pigs and the good looking people, they were like, man, you ugly. You know, the more and more you continue to tell you this, or you continue to tell, and they propagate this and they put this in the music. They put this in the movies. They put this on television. They put this in everything around you. After a while, you start to believe it. But see, this ain't for everybody, Kosher.
I know it's not.
This ain't for everybody. So, you know, although sometimes I get pissed off and angry, you know, I have to click back into it and understand that there's only a minute few
It's a remnant.
want the truth.
Yes, right. I totally agree. And I realize, man, that, you know, you can't waste your time on fallow ground.
Yes, sir.
I say what I got to say, man, and I move on. If I would lie, you know, tap dance and Bojangle, you know, I'll probably be great, but I just can't do it because it's not me. It goes against my hard drive. The Leo in me, this won't let me do it. But the carnal Christian woman, Bolo, has a form of godliness. She loves the world. She's very religious. She never fasts or pray. She's spiritually blind. She's a Christian feminist.
Absolutely.
No different from the world. You know, she go to church, but, you know, she dresses provocative. You know, she go to the club. She goes to the club on Saturday, you know, and she comes to church on Sunday with, you know, seductive clothes on. She's rebellious. She challenged her husband's authority because she wants the power. She believes in egalitarian relationships. She has a bloodlust for power. She wants to be just like the first lady, you know, in T.D. Jakes' church and Creflo Dollar. She's prone to gossip. She gotta be right, you know. She don't want to be led, and she loves attention. What's your take on that?
Absolutely. I'll give you this. Drop the bomb on it, brother. You're absolutely right.
No doubt. And so the spiritual woman is what every woman should strive for, like the Proverbs 31 woman. She has Proverbs 31 traits. She does not seek worldly fame. She's kingdom-minded. She seeks to please her husband. That's her mission. She has control over her emotions. I've said before in the past, Bolo, a woman cannot be wife ready if she's not able to control her emotions. Absolutely. If a woman is a slave to her emotions, she would not be able to be part of a man's mission. When a woman, Bolo, can love her man more than she loves her feelings, that's true love for a man. She's a prayer warrior. She understands the hierarchy. She does not seek attention like a lot of these women. You know, they say, "Well, I didn't cheat because I didn't have sex with them," but you getting DMs from dudes, you know, and they hollering at you and you laughing and you not checking them, saying, "Listen, I'm a married woman. Please do not bother me again." But you laughing and googly eyed and smiling and not understanding that you could have lust in your heart, which is a form of adultery. But you want to tell these men, "Well, I didn't cheat," but you are cheating because you're getting free attention because that's what you are addicted to. Her heart is for her family. She is a wife, not a partner. She dresses modest. So many women there, Bolo, will try to shame a man, say, "Oh, you're just insecure because, you know, I can't dress provocative." No, it has nothing to do with insecurity. I'm not insecure by default, but your behaviors is making me feel insecure because you're violating my inner sanctum as a man. Absolutely. And so I can't feel secure in my masculinity because your behaviors is violating my standards. God is not an insecure God, but when you don't serve and worship him, then, you know, it could probably make him feel some kind of way. The Proverbs 31 woman, or the spiritual woman, she works outside the home and she manages her time. You know, some of the women say, "Oh, I can't be rest in my femininity because I got to work." And I said, that's cap. Does it make it better or help that the woman has a man that's working? It helps. But watch this, Bolo. During the millennial kingdom, for 1,000 years, human beings are going to be under the leadership of the Messiah. But guess what? After 1,000 years, some will go astray. They're going to be in a perfect kingdom with a perfect creator, and they still going to go astray. So when people say, "Well, I got to rest in my femininity," that's BS. If you're truly feminine, then you're going to be feminine regardless of your environment and your conditions. I'm not saying your environment can't make it better, but you're going to be a true feminine woman regardless of your condition because you have the heart of a servant. She's not prone to gossip, and she takes accountability, something that many of these modern women don't take. And we're in a cataclysm, Bolo. You know, I think the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall, and it is what it is.
That's it.
You know, I'm not mad. I'm not going to argue with folks. You know, do what you want to do. When I saw people, and like I say, you know, I don't have to agree 100% with everything Kevin said, but I agree with a lot of things that he said. And, you know, I didn't necessarily agree with his logic on marriage in these modern times because of the laws, even though I've been married for 26 years, but I understood his premise. But overall, I liked a lot of the things that he said, you know. But when you start laughing at a man when he's in death and you're mocking him and whatnot, I got a problem with that because, you know, even the gospel say that God does not rejoice in the death of the wicked. He doesn't rejoice in the death of the wicked.
Not at all.
So why should you? But they rejoice when a man's died.
Ungodly, but you're talking about ungodly people.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Because even when you quote Proverbs 31, Scripture said that the woman got up like the merchant ship. Merchant ships are early. They out in that ocean doing what they need to do. So she didn't stay home. When you read Proverbs, she didn't stay 31, home. She went out and worked. She plowed the field herself because the man was out there about to go to war. So he was gone for weeks on end.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you have people, you know, whether you agreed with Kevin Samuels or not, when you're reveling in the man's death, you know, it says a lot about your character.
It says a lot.
You know, my point in speaking on him on my channel about his death was, where are you with God? Because wherever Kevin Samuels is, he is.
Yes, sir. Right.
You know, this death is a moment in time that the one thing we have so little of is the one thing we waste so much of, and that's time.
Yes, sir. Right.
You know, for me to say, yo, you know, I'm gonna see you next week. That in itself is egotistical because I don't even know if I'm gonna get up the stream and not break my neck going down the steps.
Yes, sir. That's true.
Just in it. You know, we're supposed to live. This is why we live in the present because it's a gift.
Right. It's a gift.
That's why. You know what I'm saying? So people that revel in someone's death, it says a lot about their character. And what's so awesome about God is judge not lest ye be judged. So the same way you condemned him, the same way you're gonna be condemned.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why the Lord
agree.
says, be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real easy to condemn somebody. Because a lot of people think that when Christ said judge not, it meant that you can't judge nobody. No, it didn't mean that. It meant condemn. Because when the Pharisees and Sadducees brought Mary Magdalene to her, they were trying to sentence her to death.
Right.
So I can judge. I can say, yo, coach, what you doing is wrong. Or you can say, Bolo, what you doing is wrong.
Right. That's righteous judgment. That's righteous judgment.
Right. But when you condemn somebody, when you put it in your heart to say that person is guilty and they deserve death, he deserved to die for what he was saying. That doesn't even sound right. That doesn't even sound right. So when you revel and you're happy and you're joyful in that man's death, it's being written.
It's being recorded, right?
It's being recorded.
It's being recorded, right?
You know,
right. It's definitely being recorded. And what they don't understand too, the same people that are mocking his death, they will have a date with death at some point. Every man is going to have a date with death sooner or later, and so therefore it behooves us to all be walking circumspectively, because you know, I'm not gonna say I've been stunned. I got some things I got to work on. I
got some things. There's a lot of things I got to get right.
Right. So I'm not acting like, you know, oh, I'm perfect, I'm holy. I got some mess with me that I'm working on. I'm very honest, you know, but you know, we live in very turbulent times, Bolo. You know, you and I from the, you know, the 90s, man. What is the thing, Bolo, that grieves your soul the most about these modern times? What is it about these modern times that really grieve your soul that, you know, you say to yourself, I never thought it would got this bad?
There's no critical thinking, man.
I agree.
There's no critical thinking, bro. There's none. I sit here and look at some of the things that these cats talk about. All they talk about is trauma. If you put them in a situation, they can't think their way out of a paper bag. Mm-hmm. They just don't have it. They don't think past 2 steps.
They don't, right?
They don't. And you sit there and you're looking at them. You're like, so you didn't think that this would happen? To every action there's a reaction? Mm-hmm. Nah, I didn't think that way. And I'm like, wow, bro. Mm-hmm. And I truthfully say this, man. I say this all the time. And I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. God has to come back in this generation.
I agree.
Because if he doesn't come back, the generation behind us, dog, if he comes back, then we're finished.
I totally agree, man. The writing is on the wall, man.
The writing is on the wall, man. These cats behind us ain't serving God. Mm-hmm. These cats behind us are falling victim to what the television. Everything that's said to them, they go with it. They look at the podcast, the Fresh and the Fits, and all these different things. All these different men that are selling them lies. They're not even living the lifestyle that they're trying to send you.
Right.
These cats are looking for a way out. Mm-hmm. And that's why, you know, your channel and my channel is so important, because we give a platform for men that don't think that there's another way.
Right.
We tell them that there is a different way.
There's a different way, right?
There is a different way. You don't have to pay me $1,000 for an hour of consultation, and then I tell you, you know, go to my other website where, you know, you got to pay me more bread. We don't do that. Right. We give it to them because we know that the Lord going to take care of us.
Right.
That's what we know.
Yes, sir. And what they don't understand, Bolo, we're going to sign off in a minute, man. Everything on this earth is fleeting. You're not going to take none of this stuff with you. You know, my sister, man, bless her heart, she died back February the 14th, I believe. And
my condolences, brother.
Yeah. She had a big head. She was a rebel for a while, but I think she got a soul, right? I love her. I prayed for her for years. She had a $500,000 home, had a Land Rover or Range Rover, whatever you call it. Had the sporty one. So I think the sporty one is the Land Rover. And But you know what? Guess what? When she died, none of that stuff mattered. When Kevin Samuels took his last breath, none of that matters. But some of these guys get caught up in pride and, I got bigger channels, I got more subscribers, I got more money. Well, you're a fool, because the gospel say, fool, tonight your soul shall be required of thee. None of that stuff would matter in the afterlife. I'd rather have integrity on this side and liberate as many men as I can, because I'm storing up treasures on earth. I'm not storing up my treasures in heaven, not on earth. I'm not storing up my treasures here, because it's all going back to the dust.
All temporal.
It's all temporal, but these cats, man, I'm not knocking a man's hustle.
But see, that's the point that I was making.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see time. They only see what's right in front of their face. So their thought process is, listen, man, I ain't gonna live forever, so I might as well enjoy my life while I'm here. Mm-hmm. Oh no, doctor, you really don't get it. Your life is not meant for you to enjoy it. Your life is meant to be sacrificed to the Lord here. You enjoy it in the next place. So they don't understand that. So when they get caught up into thinking, doesn't mean that you don't have fun. Doesn't mean that me and Kosher can't go out for a drink and politic talk about sports. Right. It doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that we can't, the brothers can't get together or the sisters can't get. It doesn't mean that at all. But the point of the matter is, you don't live your life for you. Period. So this society, being a modern man and a modern woman in this world, it teaches you not to see past your nose. And that's the problem. We do not do it, especially, D just said it. They kick that Aleister Crowley thought process. Do as thou wilt. Do you. Right. Do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the enemy pushes. That's what Satan pushes. Do you. You know what I'm saying? You want to eat. You want to taste. When God tells you, dogs, chill. You know what I'm saying? If you find, a lot of men quote this scripture. A man findeth a wife. It's a good thing. But they don't look at it's a double-edged sword. For a man to find a good wife, you have to be a good husband.
That's true.
This is what they don't get. What am I submitting to? If I'm a woman, what am I submitting to, my G?
I agree.
I have to submit to whom you represent. See, men keep thinking that when a woman submits, that's her giving her life to you. That's what she's doing. Why should she submit? You're taking godly principles and applying it to a carnal life. It don't work that way. God is not going to give one of his diamonds, one of his jewels to a dirt bag. It just doesn't work. And that goes either way. He's not going to give a good woman that follows him to a man that doesn't. He's not going to give a bad woman to a man that follows him. It doesn't happen that way. He's going to match the two because these two belong together, because that's how he wanted it to work. So we're not even on the same frequency. We can't even see past it. We keep saying, where's the good man? Women are saying, where the good man at? Where the good man at? You know why you can't see him? Because you ain't a good woman. Right.
I totally agree, brother. Cool Gent, real quick, man. We're gonna sign off in a minute. Bolo, thank you, brother. We'll do another show at some point, man. No doubt. Cool Gent, how you doing, sir? What's going on, brother?
How you doing, brother? Kosher, though. Shout out to all you brothers, man. Respect. Thank you for having me on your panel at this time. I want to say a little bit, add on to this conversation. Shout out to Bolo TV, man. Oh my God, man. This topic the Kosher has, thank you so much for this, because this is right up my alley. And as a Yah-fearing man myself, and I finally got a chance to listen, so I want to add on some things to scripture based, from the word of the Most High. What men and women are supposed to be doing is seeking first ye the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. That's what everyone's supposed to be doing, though. And I know a lot of women. It's two scriptures out there I know of that righteous men look for, women are supposed to be when they will have their righteous woman. Their Proverbs 31, and this Proverbs 31 verse 11 and 12. And let me see real quick. I want to hold y'all up because I kind of got caught off guard and I was on the highway stuff. So it talks about, the heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he have no lack of gain. And This in verse 12, it says she does him good and not evil all the days of her life. So those are like those two scriptures that righteous, Yah-fearing men look for from a woman. A woman that's a Proverbs 31 woman. And as long as, like I said, he's a righteous man and he's on his road, he's on his purpose, like the Most High would bring those two people together. But since the enemy has divided us, in this generation right now, this is where we are. And this is why everything is so messed up, because we don't want to follow the word of God. And this is why we're just like separated, because nobody wants to live right. And the way this generation is going right now, if they don't get right, like have more righteous men teaching the younger and the older women teaching the younger women, then it's going to be doomed, man. That's going to be it.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's already doomed. I think we are in the last times, the end of days, man. And, it is what it is. Just be ready. That's all I can say. I know people's older. I've been hearing that forever, but it's different, man. It's one thing to have darkness concentrated, but when darkness reaches a crescendo, and when you see it in so many forms, then it concerns me. And Bolo, you said something that was very profound. They lack critical thinking. I can see what most people can't see. I can see it before others can see it. My critical thinking and my acumen is sharp. It's not always 100%, but I can see enough to know to make a right or a left. But nowadays, man, people don't think critically. They only live in the moment, and they don't understand that there are oligarchs behind the scene making a lot of the changes that I'm not going to talk about on the show, but it is what it is. But
they don't understand that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. Controlling these thought processes.
Right. No doubt. Well, listen, guys, it's been a great one. Traditional versus modern, cool gent. Bolo, we'll do it again, brother. Let's plan to do a show at some point. I haven't forgot you. I know you just said you want to do a show. So you got my email. Just email me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And brother, we'll make it pop off. So guys, we're about to sign off, guys. It's been an awesome show. I'm going to get me some rest. I got to get up early in the morning. And I love you, brothers. And thank you for all the people that have supported me in my endeavors, man, as we seek to bring balance in these more turbulent times. So let me run this commercial, guys, and then we're going to sign off. Thank you.
Are you a victim of brokenness and despair? A broken man is a hopeless man, and a hopeless man is a very dangerous man. Many times, many of you young men that are listening come from homes that are very toxic and very dysfunctional. And because of that, many of you have deferred your power in many ways, to the point it's led over into your social life, and many times led over into your relationships. If you guys are dealing with mental health pathologies, conscious and unconscious, come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com. It's important that you deal with your mental health in order to be a better person for yourself, your loved ones, and also your community. But because mental health is often stigmatized, many of you often suffer in silence. Don't be a victim in silence. And see me once again at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And I need you guys to remember this. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And male mental health is one of those elements that's paramount to the functioning of a man. Be well.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man, and he's mine. Baby, you said Yeah, you know it's hard to say. Yeah, you know we're not okay. I can see it in your face. We became a lonely place. Goodbye, so long, my dear love. Love is forgotten, so I'm moving on. Goodbye, so long, my dear friend. We did our best until the very end. Baby, I don't wanna fight. It has to hurt, that's all I know it's right. But you won't feel the pain alone, no. Every inch of me is hurting and I just wanna leave it all behind. Yeah, I'm breaking up with you tonight. Yeah, you know it's hard to say. Yeah, you know we're not okay. I can see it in your face. We became a lonely place. Yeah. Goodbye, so long, my dear love. Love is forgotten, so I'm moving on. Goodbye, so long, my dear friend. We did our best until the very end. Goodbye, so long, my dear love. My dear love, love is forgotten, so I had to move. Goodbye, so long, my dear friend. Yeah, yeah, we did our best until the very end. But goodbye, so long, my dear love.
I'm feeling something special for you. And now you got me thinking till the sun comes up. Daylight in my mind is dreaming. And I'm saying too much couldn't be enough. But I'll be waiting for the moment to take me to you. Yeah, I'll be waiting. I'm just a couple steps from going over the moon. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. Let me move with your body, baby. Perfection in the way that you move. Boy, you got it. Devotion's getting stronger with all that you do. But I'll be waiting for the moment to take me to you. Yeah, I'll be waiting. steps from going over the moon. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. I wanna move with your body, baby. Let me move with your body, baby.